Hey there, Drawyah here, and welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Today, taking flights in LATAM colours, an A320neo from here in Santiago de Chile to a destination I cannot remember the name of, known as... I have lost the name. Sorry. Flying to Cusco today, so Santiago to Cusco, Arturo, Merino, Benítez International to Alejandro, Velasco International. It's about 3 hours and 10-15 minutes flight time today, and well, all the flights takes part on the Chilean coast, so you should get some very good scenery, that of the Andes as well. And yeah, we're currently in the Santiago de Chile, going to depart in about 30ish minutes, so we come to the cockpit, we'll set the aircraft up and prepare ourselves for our flight. So yeah, let's get right into that, shall we? First things first, batteries come on. Align all three ADAs. We have got a fuel truck on the way, so fuel comes in a second. There's no power available. On emergency lights, nav lights on, strobes automatic, and cabin crew oxygen supply active. Right, we'll jump down to the MCU now, and we'll start programming this for flight. We are using the latest dev version of the A320neo model, so hopefully get a few new fancy features to play around with today. Otherwise, the flight itself is relatively simple. I don't see too much going on today, so should be quite simple today. Right, initialization. So we are going from Sierra Charlie Echo Lima to Sierra Papa Zulu Oscar. Insert that. We'll align the IRS, that'll take a couple of minutes. We will input our flight number, which is Lima Alpha 2366. Our cost index of 28. Fuel truck perfect, right, so required fuel today is £24,746, 24,476. So we'll load up the sim from the menu. 25, 24. That's all do. So 59% of our fuel tanks. The inner tank's relatively full, since the tank is still empty. Right, so cost index was 28. And our cruising altitude at flight level 360, 36,000 feet. Our destination today, quite a high altitude airport, it's about 14,000 feet, so in terms of descent, not going to be too much today. Have to be very aware of that as we start our operations to the airport. Zero fuel weight, or pull from the aircraft, and our block fuel on board is 11,160 kilos, so 11.16. Right, so I'm going to head over to the flight plan, but before we do that, let's start loading our passengers. Let's greet our people on board today. So that's our flight plan. Santiago de Chile to Cusco, Lima Alpha 2366, 26,000 feet. Flight time 3 hours and 5 minutes. The departure in approximately 25 minutes. Flying A320neo with 144 people on board. We have Wi-Fi, I think, for LATAM. I think we do. Entertainment we don't have. Body music we have got for LATAM. We have got safety briefing for LATAM. We do have snack service. I think we get meal service as well. They are quite a relatively boxed up airline this. So with that, let's start our boarding service, shall we? And while we're here, let's start programming our waypoints. Not too many to go today. A few airways that will do most of the work for us. Starting off with Dante. From Dante, we fly the Uniform Quebec 802. To Repuck. Then we fly the Uniform Lima 300. To Opcore. We fly Uniform Mike 415 to Litot, sorry. And that is our flight plan complete. So insert that, We'll greet the passengers and then we'll set the rest of the cockpit up. Good afternoon, gentlemen, and welcome aboard LATAM flights number 2366 from here in Santiago to Cusco. Flight time today is approximately 3 hours and 5 minutes. Clear skies throughout our flights, bit of cloud and descent, but ultimately should be rather standard. Any questions today? Speak to our cabin crew. Otherwise, we hope you sit back, relax, and enjoy your flights. Can you be there? Thank you very much for subscribing on Twitch. You are an absolute star. Thank you very much. So let's mark address generic. Good afternoon, gentlemen, and welcome to LATAM flights. We'll set our displays. 2366 from here in Santiago. Not too bright. It's relatively bright here in Chile. Don't forget being the South Pole, well, Southern Hemisphere, sorry. It is the middle of summer, and therefore, as a result, things are much brighter, much more cheerful this time of the year, this part of the world. Right, that should be our aircraft now set up from that. So we'll head down to the MS again, we'll set the rest of that up, and we'll get ready to go. Welcome Garlic, how are you doing? Welcome Thief Skiller, welcome John, welcome Wixwages, welcome Dan, welcome everybody else in chat. How are you all doing today? How are you all doing today? Are you doing stance training, are you, Car Games? Well, hopefully we'll see you soon once Guy released their Microsoft Flight Sim at Stansted. Let's pop open our flight number. So we're 2366, I believe. Yes. So if you wish to track our flight today, 236, you can do so via that link right there. I just pin the message. That's our IVAO tracking link today. If you want to watch us, you can do so there. We'll plug in our departures. I don't think there's ATC right now, so it's Unicorn 122.8. That's fine. We'll plug in our departure, which is going to be on runway... It's runway 17 right on the Donti to Alpha. So it's 17 right, Donti to Alpha. There's no 2 Alpha, but there is a 4 Alpha, which I believe is the same departure, just on a later air cycle. I'll just double check that. So, you know, depart out, make a right hand turn. It's a relatively long right turn, but it takes us along the coastline, and our route, you can see, flies right along the coast. Got a few of the Andes on our right hand side, which should be very pretty indeed. And our approach takes us right into the heart of the Andes, so it's going to be a very tricky approach today. Have to be very careful with how we're going to enter the airports. Expecting runway 28 to land. So we'll insert that. We'll clear the user points, since that's always a problem for everyone. Insert that. Go to performance. We'll set up the takeoff speeds. While we're here, we'll set up the APU. Perhaps 1 for takeoff. Flex temp is 78. Our V speeds are 128, 129 and 133. To this altitude, 14,000. Right, aircraft's now set up and we're ready to go. Let's pull the META information for our departure today. Currently looking at 180 winds, 11 knots. Clouds and visibility okay. 30 degrees centigrade, 0.14. QNH 1012. So it's clear weather right now. Absolutely nothing. Because we're out in the sky. Pressure's pretty standard as well. We are using a new mod. We are using Unreal Weather, which is a freeware weather mod that gives you a bit more realistic regards to weather information in Sim. So I'm going to give that a go today. Hopefully all goes to plan. To our right, we've got a Sky A320. And as always, we have got a couple of you guys watching as well, flying, tagging along. So I'm sure we've got a few other aircraft dotted around. There's an Alitalia over there apparently. So on just parked in the background. I must say it's a very very pretty country, Chile. I'm sure we can get a very good good trip out of this one today. Where's Cusco? So it's on the northern bit of Chile there. So it's 3 hours and 5 minutes away, right in the north of Chile. Yeah, right on the not too far from the Bolivian border to its east. Right. So So, APU is available. We'll start that. I'll turn the fuel pumps on now since the aircraft has been fueled up. Seatbelt sign on, stroke automatic. Sorry, smoking automatic. We'll turn off the external power. Let systems power through the aircraft. And that is that. Now complete. Is it Peru? I could be wrong there actually. Sorry, you are right. Sorry, yes. So, there's Cusco. There's the border between Chile and Peru. So you are right, it's in Peru. I do apologise. Bit of activity on the east coast of Brazil and Argentina right now. Sorry, it's just Brazil. Argentina is quite clear. But Brazil, relatively well covered at the moment. We may see ATC today. You can see we've got a few controls on the way. The paths on the way. But ultimately, it comes down to how busy the west coast of South America is. Right, so in the cockpit we're done. Like I say, just waiting for the last few passengers to board. Have a quick. Oh, Jim Crawford. I'm sure I recognise that name from somewhere. The answer is yes. He's a racing driver. He's from Scotland. Used to do a bit of Formula racing in the past. So we've got Jim Crawford on board. Although real Jim Crawford's dead actually, he died a couple of years ago, didn't he? We have a bit of a mix of passengers. Cabin is now boarded, aircraft's full. I think that's about it for the famous names. Don't see why everyone's asking about my sexuality today. Yes, I am straight. Right, flight directors on and on. Sorry, Mary Santiago, departing from Santiago. John Newman, yeah, there's like quite a few recognisable names on the aircraft today. Quite a few people. I'm sure we'll, once we get to cruise, we'll have a chance to go through that as well. Krista Lee, not quite Christopher Lee, but yeah, I've got Christy Lee. A few names in there. Very close indeed. Right, well, passengers boarded. We'll set you up to 36,000. I'll let the aircraft climb out on its own. No need for me to do any major input today. Departing runway 17 right. Need to make a push to the right and then depart out via the north of the airport. So, in terms of cockpit setup, we are now done. We'll call the pushback tug over. We'll be using pushback zoomer as always. And yeah, we'll get ourselves going in a couple of moments. Yes, we do have flights from London to Chile. British Airways do operate it in a 777, I believe. Oops. Right. Flying 787, very nice, John, very nice. Oh, actually, one more mod as well. So you'll notice we have got a co-pilot in the aircraft today. So basically, there's a mod I found on Flight Simulator 2, which takes the external model pilot models and actually puts them in the cockpit when you fly. So hopefully we'll get a chance to enjoy that when we come today. Basically, it's like it just sticks the co-pilot model on. It makes you have your co-pilot in the cockpit. I don't know. It's such a small add-on, but one of those things I guess I've always thought about. Why do you never have a co-pilot in the cockpit? But that does it quite nicely. So yeah, let's get going, shall we? Let's pop open, push back the zoomer. Let's do this. Ground from flight deck. Request pushback.
Pushback request confirmed.
So the pushback toggle now connects to the aircrafts, and then we'll request push to the east.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard Flight 2366. Our flight time will be roughly 3 hours and 5 minutes. Now that the cabin
So as soon as they're connected, we'll speed to ground again, and then we'll request the push out. So quick fun check the aircraft, ensure we've done everything correctly. Seatbelt's all active, APU's running. We're disconnected from ground, which is fine.
Upright and locked position for departure. Cabin crew, prepare cabin for departure.
Ground from flight deck.
Good afternoon. Yes, everything is ready down here, so please release brakes.
Brakes released.
So let the ride begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the screens for an important safety demonstration. Thank you for flying with us.
Estimados pasajeros, es un placer tenerlos a bordo de LATAM. Por su
You may
seguridad y
begin
confort,
starting the
solicitamos
engines,
poner
Captain.
atención a las instrucciones de seguridad de este avión. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have you on board LATAM. For your safety and comfort, please pay attention to the safety instructions
Turn
for this
facing
aircraft.
east.
Por favor, acompáñenos. Please join us. Guarde el equipaje de mano en el compartimiento superior o bajo el asiento de adelante. Stow your carry-on baggage in the overhead compartment or underneath the seat in front of you. Pasillos, salidas de emergencia en primera fila deben estar libres de equipaje. Aisles, emergency exits in the first row must be kept clear of luggage. Ajuste
Stop
su cinturón
pushback.
de seguridad cada vez que la señal se
Fine.
ilumine.
Please
Fasten
confirm
your
when the
seatbelt
parking
whenever
brakes
the
are
seatbelt
set.
sign is
Brakes
illuminated.
set.
Okay, sir. Have a nice flight.
Para abrocharlo,
Right,
inserte la punta
pushback
de
complete.
metal en la
So,
hebilla y ajuste
mods,
girando
all
la
mods are
correa.
linked in the
Para
description
abrirlo,
of the
levante la
YouTube
tabla
stream. The cabin voice mod is
Insert the
PACX,
metal
the
clip
pushback
in
mod
the
is
hole
pushback
and
zoomer.
pulling on the loose end of
TFDi
the
design
strap,
packs with pushback
fasten and
zoomer.
clip the top part of the
Engine
buckle. Le
what
recomendamos
2, we're now
mantener su
waiting
cinturón
to
de seguridad
stabilize. There we go.
abrochado y
Engine
libre durante todo el
available.
vuelo, aunque la
Engine
señal
1,
esté
we can
apagada.
now
We also
start.
recommend to keep your seatbelt fastened and visible throughout the flight, even when the fasten seatbelt sign is off.
Oh yeah, the view is absolutely fantastic. And I'm sure as we fly today, we're going to get views of the mountains the entire of our trip today. Approach as well, going to be very beautiful indeed, so something for us to very much enjoy.
Smoking on board is forbidden. This also includes electronic cigarettes. Tampering with smoke detectors
So
in
engine
laboratories is
2
prohibited by
is
law.
stable, engine 1 starting. We'll do the quick flight control check, make sure everything is active. Elevators set, ailerons set, rudder set, speed brakes set. Right, back to engine mode. We'll arm spoilers, flaps down 1. Flight time today, 3 hours and 5 minutes. 3 hours and 5 minutes. Just make sure my Twitch stream actually says flight sim, not train sim right now. It does, good, good. New engine and gear sounds. This is the dev version of the A320neo, so if it's on the dev version, then yes I do. Hopefully we'll get a chance to listen to that on other parts today. Right, the engines are both active, so we'll turn off the APU. Engine ignition off. Taxi lights we will set. And let us now to new contact again to depart, or taxi to runway 17 right, and then depart. So, let's toss up, 17 right. Departure SID is the Don T2 Alpha. Is that. Brakes released. Get the aircraft moving, and then bring that throttle so we start moving. Remember that with the A320, it can taxi on idle throttle, and therefore don't put too much power into the aircraft. Another aircraft just joining in now.
An emergency lighting system will lead you to the exits. Localice su salida más cercana, la que podría estar detrás de usted. Locate the nearest exit, which may be behind you.
Massive thank you to Diego there for the 3290. Is that Peruvian? The Peruvian Soul, I believe. Thanks to take accounts, Cusco Airports, £1 equals 497 pence. Much appreciated, man. Thank you very much, Diego. You are a star. Thank you for supporting the channel. Is it the Peruvian Soul? I'm going to have to make sure I know my currencies correctly. Yes, the printer feature coming with the next dev version. It's such a small little thing, that the printer, but I'm so excited for it, because I have got a printout of a real A320 thing. When I flew to Helsinki from Heathrow British Airways a couple of years back, 2018, as always, you ask, can you go to the cockpit at the front, and I took out the printer sheet from that. It's about having connected to your home printer. Ooh, that is interesting. Press the print button and random data just spits out. Have you seen the Your Control Program? That's the shared copy mod, isn't it, XYZ? I've heard of it, I've not seen it in action. I have heard of it, I have certainly heard of it. So going to parts to the western side of the airport, taxi to the western side of the airport, and then from there, that's runway 17 right. That aircraft is pushing back, so I'm going to be very careful not to end up colliding with them.
first before assisting children
So
or
either we
others.
wait, or make a round time, you have to go around it. Could you fly an A320 Takeoff landing real life? I'm not sure, Alexander. I'm not sure. Starcy program and FMS, perhaps, since that's all the same, but the moment you get your hand on the stick, it's a very different experience. Your mother's from Drawyah, Peru, and using her account, her name's Robbie. Well, yeah, that's my main. No worries, Robbie. Well, glad to have you today. Glad to have you. Thanks for Taipei. Yep, Taipei was a lot of fun to do. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Hopefully this approach as well should be want to give us a bit of imagination as well. It's not an easy airport. Not as bad as Paro. Paro is a challenge in itself, but this airport certainly has got a bit of an interesting approach in regards to the valleys, the mountains that are around. So landing at Cusco today can be quite an interesting arrival path for that. Flying from Heathrow to Delaman and back. No worries, man. Have safe flights. Not sure about Cusco as being a food, Lucas. Maybe you're thinking of Couscous, but Cusco is a town in... not Bolivia. It's a town in Peru. Right, so we'll set the auto brakes to max. Cabin check. Takeoff config sets. And with that, our pre-takeoff checklist is now complete. Yes, CRJ is coming to Microsoft Flight Sim. Aerosoft are releasing theirs in a couple of weeks. The Aerosoft CRJ is expected Q1 2021, and therefore, hopefully, we'll get a chance to play with that. Well, as when it releases. Very excited though for it. Very excited. The Aerosoft aircraft are generally pretty good, so chance to fly that around. No, XYZ. Glad you're getting better with the landings. Yes, predictive wind shear, can't forget that. Predictive wind shear sets, automatic, and tar. With every stream, you get better and better. You see you being a pilot in no time. Maybe in flight sim, Joshua. Probably not in real life, at least commercially. Private license, I'd certainly like to do one day, but commercially, it's a bit of a hassle, a bit of a financial struggle. That's so. We'll see. We'll see. Guess I was a bit more central in the taxiway. Also, trying to figure out why my background's still messing about. So, I don't know, it's like the green microphone thing conflicts with the... so I've got a blue hat just stopped the top of the microphone I'm appearing, and it just kind of conflicts with the background slightly. It's a blue screen, not a green screen. That's the blue screen, just works a bit nicer for me. Runway 17 right. Runway 17 right for departure today here in Santiago de Chile. Yes, we are using the A320neo mod. We always use it with A320 flights. Never go without it. Also, try not to mess up my microphone as well. That'd be a bit of a problem. When you turn off the pilot tries to kill you, download the A320neo mod. Makes life a lot easier. Download the A320neo. Take care, Martin. See you later. Cabin crew, seats for departure please. Seats for departure. Cabin crew, seats for departure please. Seats for departure. Right, so that aircraft there holding short is now entering runway, getting ready to take off. So then will be number 2 for departure. And again, so 133 rotate speed today, 133 knots. Yes, Reskia, we are flying live right now. It's live weather, live time, and we're using IVAO for ATC. But autopilot says that should be easier. What do you mean, Rodri? What do you mean? I always find the autopilot... Well, I find autopilot rather simple enough thing to do. I don't use Hanover. That's in Hanover. I use IVAO for ATC. Right, so we're now just waiting for the aircraft on the runway to depart. Once they go, we'll taxi into position and holds, and then once they're clear of the airspace, we'll go make our own outs. Rio to Miami, nope, flying from Santiago to Cusco today. Santiago to Cusco. Alright, so we're going to taxi into position hold now. Running lights on. The TARCAM crew sit down, so they'll now be waiting for us to depart. Brakes released. Let's get this thing going, shall we? One day we'll do Paola. One day we'll certainly do Rio to Miami. Should be quite fun on that. A bit like a more of a medium haul trip, that. Beacon lights automatic. Oh no, sorry, I've got it. Whoops. Cheers, Furries. Always forget something. Right, so the other aircraft has departed. Can't quite see them, but they would have made a right-hand turn not too long after departure. Right, let's do this. Throttle 40. 1 and 2 stable. Up to flex. $80 knots. 100 knots. V1 rotates. Positive right, gear up. And there you have it. Now departing Santiago de Chile. Next stop, Cusco. Cusco. Aircraft sounds low, is it? Let me turn it up for you. Hopefully that's a little bit better. We'll go straight onto the autopilot. We'll let the aircraft take command of everything from here since it's relatively some departure routes. Throttle back to climb, flaps up. And sets. Spoilers will reset. And while we're here, might as well enjoy the rather fantastic scenery on the way out. Like I said, the scenery on this flight will be fantastic throughout the entire trip, especially as on the right hand side you get the Andes throughout the entire thing. Left hand side, a little bit bland in regards to just looking at the water the entire time. But it's a very pretty trip, this. The entire country of Chile is pretty. It's all the Andes mountain range. So zoom out on the ND. We'll let the aircraft do its sit out at 14,000 straight over to turns altimeter. Also then speed up the aircraft once it gets to 10,000 as well. Welcome random fan from Africa, how you doing? Welcome to the chats. How are you today? How are you doing? Do you have a name on Microsoft Flight Sim? Yes, Drawyah. Good evening, Daniel. How are you doing? Welcome to the chats. How are you today, sir? Again, the scenery out of the sim is fantastic. All the faults, all bits of satellite imagery, just works so well. Just works so well. Even the galley. Can't really see much of outside, but just all works so well. I do adore this platform.
Gentlemen, we are now passing through 10,000 feet.
10,000 feet. We will turn off the landing lights.
As a reminder, please keep your seatbelt fastened while you are seated and do not congregate in the galleys or near the lavatories. This aircraft is equipped with onboard Wi-Fi. If you wish to connect to the Wi-Fi, you will be required to pay a small fee.
-56, very nice, John. You're in the flight from LAX to Salt Lake City, which you'll send. Very nice, Benny. Hope you have a good landing. Flight looks so realistic, but out the game, but you want it. It is great, Poela. It is very good indeed. If you ever do pick it up, certainly worth the... well, exploring the entire world of it. I mean, I've never been to Chile, I've never been to South America, but thanks to the freedom of Microsoft Flight Sim, it's just so nice to, well, I'd say just to go to other parts of the world, places you didn't ever really go to. Because again, the scenery here is so varied, so beautiful. Can't fault it. Absolutely can't fault it. Flight time today, 3 hours and 5 minutes. 3 hours and 5 minutes. We'll now switch over, not just actually passing through 13,000 now, 13,000 feet. We've got a right hand side coming up shortly, so once we perform that, we'll then switch off the autopilot, so the seatbelt sign, so the seatbelt sign comes off after the turn, and then the aircraft will be pretty much stable for its entire cruise. We have fly in LTU colours. We can do one Nikon now. We certainly can do LTU if you want. Let's set the altimeter now to standard. Arriving approximately 3 hours and 1 minute. ETA 2255 Zulu. But I'm sure as we start heading north, as we fly more direct to our destination, that time will start to crawl back a bit. Speed manually now, just to speed things up. As always, we try and we set the speed up manually. Not so much going against the VNAV or anything like that. It's more just so we can try and save a bit of time, get a bit quicker. As the earlier you land, generally the better satisfaction you get from your passengers. So making the right hand turn now. Again, just look at that. Look at this scene, it's so fantastic. What graphics do you run on? It's a mix of high and ultra right now. We're on a mix of high and ultra settings in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Running on a GTX 1660, 32 GB of RAM, i7 6600 processor, and we are also overclocking just to speed things up a little bit. But overall, you're running this sim relatively high. This is the unstable version, Marcus. This is the unstable version of the A320neo. This is a dev version. It's perfectly alright, it's got no issues with it. So far, so good. We've now leveled off. See what sign comes off. We'll give the passengers their freedoms back. I think for lots of this trip, we'll be, well, staring out the window for this one. Left hand side, you can just about see the coastline now. Up the green.
The flight crew has turned off the fasten seatbelt sign. You can now get up and move about the cabin. However, we ask.
It's the middle of summer, and of course got some of the snowy peaks of the Andes mountain range. Is top percent available at 2020? No, Diego. Top of descent is not yet here. Although it's not too difficult to calculate. It's your altitude, flight level times 3, or you can judge it off your flight plans. In my case, SimBrief does give you the descent instruction. If I can find it, that's the approach. Let's crossing an airport. There you go. So as we enter the star, there you go. So we enter star, LITOTS to Alpha, and then start our descent, and our landing will be at approximately flight level 134. So 30 altitude at the airport. Yes. Look at the graphs. It shows us it in a bit more detail. So we departed relatively low altitude, cruise, and then we land at quite high altitude as we start crossing the Andes. Descent's going to be pretty interesting today. Climb 36, we descend 23. Very nice, Jackson. Hopefully your video does do rather well. Passing through flight level 230 now, 23,000 feet. And for landing points is FlyLive Studio. FlyLive Studio. You have the same spec but with 16 gigs of RAM, 951040. You may do Blue Panda with 16 gigs of RAM. It depends if you stream or not. In my case, streaming 16 gigs of RAM was not enough, but 32 is. If you're running this on its own, then 16 gigs should do alright, and the i5 10400, that should do no problem. So yeah, you should do alright with that. How do you change your wing view to the wings? So, like I say, the easiest method is to do it by showcase cam. So if you go to the camera page, we'll go to showcase, and it's the last two, 12 and 13, they give the wing views. The way I've done it, which is a bit more free-flowing, it's a bit more difficult as you have to edit the config files. I have done a tutorial on that, so it's a bit more easy to understand. Welcome, instance. Welcome, greetings from Santiago de Chile. 2 years ago, you flew to Cusco on the A320neo LATAM. Ooh, very nice, Hesium. Very nice. So hopefully you've, well, you've got a bit of experience with this one. Tell us if we're doing it all right or wrong. Hopefully, in my case, don't get too distracted with the scenery as we make our way to the east, or to the north even for this one. So we make our way to the north. How do you add the FlyLive Studio overlay to OBS? You save the overlay as HTML and then use HTML to import it into OBS as the source. Which delivery from the LTL do you prefer, the classic red roof or the more modern livery used by Air Berlin? I think I've always liked more of the classic red roof for me. Right, so in terms of the climb outs, we are holding at 270 for a bit, presumably just to pick up a bit of speed. Not too sped up, but then continue to climb again. ETA down to 22, or kind of supports 2200 Zulu, so approximately 2 hours and 21 minutes. When you add the overlay, information doesn't show because you have to set the information manually, and after you've done that, the overlay, you actually need to create a template to have all the information visible on screen. It's not a quick automated system, you have to design everything step by step. Flights came at the right time. Whoops, I've overspeed that. Yes, certainly did. It's been a nice breakout this lockdown, I must say. It's not quite visiting the real world in real life, but the scenery at least does give you that kind of view for it. It's a very pretty Microsoft Flight Sim, very pretty. But absolutely no issues with this absolute adorable platform. What does flare mean upon landing? It basically just means to rotate the nose, so you're landing on the main landing gear, not the nose gear. So just pull back the nose ever so slightly, gives you a smoother landing overall. Aircraft's not doing well to slow down, I must admit. You have to beat Mach 0.79. It's just edging on the overspeed marker there. Yes, fly by Argon on A380. Very excited for it. Very excited. We've never had a proper A380 Microsoft in any flight sim ever. X-Plane never had one. FSX P3D 2004 never had one. So hopefully this will be the first proper A380 we've had in a flight sim. But it's very exciting indeed. Very exciting. Stop overspeeding. Stop crawling up. Thank you, Daniel, for the 299. Stop it. Thank you, Daniel, for the 299. Pair. Give me the thumbs up. Thumbs up to you. Thank you very much, man. Much appreciated. You are a star. Any tips on boosting FPS in Microsoft Flight Sim? Don't use the preset graphic settings. Tweak them all manually and turn your graphics down. Also, upgrade your RAM. Is it possible to land with a tailwind? It's possible, but not recommended, Diego. It's possible, but not recommended. With a tailwind, basically it speeds the aircraft up and just gives you a slightly more unstable setup than the airplane on. So you can do, but you really shouldn't. Yes, Sao Paulo we can do at some point, Charlie. It's been a little while since I started Sao Paulo. Did it during one of the pre-release previews to Microsoft Flight Sim. So, one for the future. See, if I can reduce speed all I want, it's never going to follow it. Never going to follow it. Doesn't have the other... It's only 33 knots, but it's 33 knot headwind at the moment. That makes things around a bit. I saw your comments the last 20 times you copied and pasted it, Connor Rolofson. It's annoying now, that LTO. Maybe I won't fly them. I'm not doing too bad, Henry. Not doing too bad at all. So far, so good. We're slowly climbing out of Santiago now. Slowly reaching our cruising altitude. As we are flying over the Andes, it's going to be a somewhat bumpy trip, bit of turbulence from the rolling hills got to deal with. Otherwise, it shouldn't be too bad. Will we pay for the 737 coming? So for the PMDG, Miguel, yes, the PMDG 737 will cost $139.99. Yes, I do know Sri Lanka. A couple of people I work with are Sri Lankan Tamils. It's the small islands just off the coast of India, South India. Get this aircraft today. It's not like it's not holding its speed today. You're not holding its speed. How do you fully flight that tracker? So just click on the link, Gamer, and it should send you to the IVAO WebEye link, which is our flight tracker in Microsoft Flight Sim. So it's just a case of selecting the menu. Well, clicking the link and opening a new tab, basically. Also, if you're on Twitch, we have got a little streaming thing on Twitch as well, so you can follow me along on that. Yep, $139 for an add-on. That's pretty standard for flights, actually. Look at P3D, some of their add-on prices. The FSAB's A320, that's about $120. If you reset auto throttle, it would fix the overspeed. It's not so much an issue with the throttle, I don't think. You see, now that we're flying level at cruising altitude 36, the aircraft seems to be doing alright. It's just when it's climbing, it doesn't quite know what it's doing. How sound using vectors? So it's just basically using the heading to manually guide your aircraft in, and then as you intercept the runway, you then either vector for the runway, connect yourself to an ILS if that's the requirements of the runway, or in my case, I think it's an RNAV for the runway 18, is it? 28, sorry, so yes, it's an we can do RNAV, we can do VRDME. I think we'll do an RNAV approach today, and therefore let the RNAV guide us into the runway.
In a few moments, our lovely flight attendants will be starting our in-flight service. We'll be serving complimentary drinks and snacks. Premium drinks are available for a small charge.
Severe turbulence on the flights from South France to London. There's a divert. Oh gosh, really? Yeah, we've had a couple of storms recently, although tomorrow in London it's expected to snow. And let me tell you, it never snows in London, so I'm very excited for tomorrow morning. Hopefully get some very good weather here. Dusseldorf to Mali, we could do at some point. If you stop spamming it, Connor, please stop spamming your LTU flight, because it's very annoying now. Does custody is yes. So you can save the views. Sim Aviation, you can save them. I think it's a Control Alt number, and then to go back to them, it's just Alt number. So Control Alt number to save, and then Alt to go back to them and do save per sim. So every time I, for example, go to my wing views, these are, so in fact, I've got left seat, right seat, overhead panel, FMS, left wing, right wing, and rear galley. Yes, I'll be streaming tomorrow. Yes, I will be buying the 737. Flight time is 3 hours and 5 minutes. So a little bit bumpy, but doing alright. Last time it snowed in New York, you had like a feet of snow. Yes, I know New York can be it can snow quite a bit in New York. But here in London, it's definitely a bit of a rarity. Right, I'm now going to mute you, Connor, because I'm very annoyed about, well, very annoying that's LTU, on and on and on. Do you know my auto throttle keeps saying you're overspeeding at 220 knots, you're cruising at 360 with A320neo. Check your flaps, Garlic, check your flaps. Extremely bad weather into Salt Lake City right now. Sounds like there's well, fair few storms right now in North America. Here in, well, let's have a look at our arrival weather. So if we go to the MCDU, let's pop open the meter information. AOC, weather request, and send. Now just got to wait for the ECAM telling that the company message has been received. Once we got it, we'll then have a look. What's a premiere? Premiere is a pre-recorded video, David. Premiere is a pre-recorded video. What 737 is going to be where? So the 737 coming from PMDG, that's coming out Q3 of this year. Right, so weather right now, where we land, it's got scatter clouds at, oh gosh, 5,000, 8,000. Well, I'm hoping that's from ground level, because don't forget the airport itself is at 13,000, so I'm hoping that's from ground level. 70 degrees centigrade, 2.5, QNH 1028, 1006 knot winds, so I think we'll stick to runway 28 just for the sake of the RNAV. This could be with a tailwind landing. That's do you know what a cell membrane is? Yes, it's the outer portion of a cell that keeps the contents inside. Is there a way to get it sent in a cheaper way? Don't think so, Miguel. PMDG will sell it on their own store and I believe on the marketplace as well. Yeah, check your flaps, Garlic. Check your flaps. So far so good. We're at cruise. Passengers seem relatively happy right now, 99% satisfaction. So they're doing very happy at the moment. Not too bad, Cartors, not doing too bad. How are you doing? Can you print the weather out? Not yet. Not yet. So that's coming out in the next update, the A320neo. So if we go back to the menu and received. Soon, what we'll be able to do is press the print button and then the printer on the A320. Right here, that will print out the message, but not yet a feature. Coming in the next version of Dev A320neo. Will something cheaper eventually, or will it always be 100? So, PMDG pricing generally don't come down. And sales, they do have sales like once every 20 years, so we'll see basically, we'll have to see. But the retail price of the PMDG 737 will be $139.99. Not too bad, Captain Safety, not doing too bad. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel, to the chats. Where are we going? Flying to Cusco in Bolivia. Cusco. It's not Bolivia. It's Peru. Don't know why I said Bolivia there. It's near Bolivia, it's in Peru. Cusco, Peru. Might just have to get a sticker for on my monitor or something. Welcome, Callum, how are you doing? PMDG have not confirmed anything else yet, Sebastian. They've said they'd like to do the 737 747 one day. Sorry, the 777 and 747 one day, but the 73 is the only aircraft that has been confirmed, with actual pre-release screenshots and everything as well. Right, so far so good. We're at cruise. ETA is looking, so it looks like we've said about 10-15 minutes so far. Let's see how things go to continue. Do you use the Echo joystick? I use a joystick. I use the Thrustmaster HOTAS Warthog. It's not cheap spare kits, but very, very good at what it does. Probably the best you can get on Flight Sim. Have you watched Non-Stop? I think I have, Raskia. I think I have. You're well? Yes, so unreal weather. So basically it's... So this is the default... Whoops. Wind, sorry, I forgot about that. So this is live weather Microsoft Flight Sim using the Blue Sky data, which it's alright, but a lot of people have noticed it's not perfect. The way it pulls data sometimes can be a bit delayed, sometimes not quite accurate. So basically, live weather is a freeware mods that does similar. So it pulls the... Sorry, it's a bit of turbulence there because the wind's changing. Fortunately, passengers haven't noticed anything about that. Basically, it takes the meter information off of a different source online and it inputs that into the sim. So, run uploading data from the nearest airport, updates every 3 minutes or so. And, yeah, just overall gives you a slightly more realistic feel to your Flight Simulator weather. So it's a free add-on, bit complicated setup, as you have to generate an API key for the meta information, but ultimately it's a rather good tool that. So Sinister X Weather Force just uses its different data source for weather info. Let me just crop my webcam 2 seconds because that is slightly annoying me on the left hand side. There we go. Perfect. Download today hasn't worked, so you need to go into the mod itself, Benny, and adjust a few config files. You need to log into, create an account on a certain weather website, I can't quite remember what it's called, generate an API token for that, and then input it into the sim. So well worth checking out a few tutorials on how to get it all working. Favourite fighter jets, I've always liked the F-14. How's it going? Not too bad, Wayne. Not doing too bad at all. Welcome back, man. It's been a little while. How are you doing? Printer, not yet, Miguel. Printer comes out in the next update, not this one. Next update. Hunter satisfaction, anything to do with views? Probably. I'd be surprised. It's a very, very beautiful trip, this. The mountains... Well, the mountains for half our passengers. The other half, they get coastline. Absolutely stunning views for our flight today. Nope, I've not landed in Cochabamba yet. Is it never worth looking at? You try and make a custom view by entering the official folder, Microsoft Flight Sim, when you spawn away back. How do you know what happened? Can't move around with WSD. I'm not sure how you make a custom view by going to the folder. Like I said, there's a way I do it, which is change the config to move the camera around to work around. But I don't know how you're doing it, Sim Aviation. Sounds like you're doing it the wrong way. It's in the middle of the Andes. Okay, oh, something to check out one day. Yes, I'd use the Warthog throttle. I have both the stick and the throttle. Very good bit of kit. It's weighted, full metal build, just feels fantastic. Also, loving the moon as well as it slowly, well, just sits down above the horizon there. Very pretty today. No roller pedals. You follow the video how to access the camera folder by changing some numbers. So I'm landing in approximately 2 hours and 40 minutes or so. I'm fairly sure we'll be landing well before then. As, well, 3 hours and 15, well, it's 3 hours and 5 minutes was our expected time. 3 hours 5 in terms of progress. We've, no, to be fair, we haven't covered too much flight so far. Quite a fair bit of flying left ahead of us. In PWG, you have aircraft installed, you have to update the next version. Yes. So, if you want to upgrade your aircrafts, then, well, P3 and Microsoft Flight Sim are two different simulators, and therefore you pay for different products. One's Fly-by-Wire 3, but PMDG isn't, is the quantity that's different. Well, the A320neo uses the default A320 assets, which they can't charge for, so legally it has to be a freeware, the A320neo default assets. Yes, you have the UK update. Supposed to be on Thursday, but they delayed it by a week, so we're now going to see the release in, well, end of January at this point. No, early February. February the 3rd or 4th, I think. February 4th. Welcome, Megatomsky, how are you doing? Welcome to the chat, how are you today? Thought about the TCA office pack, can't get it anywhere. Yeah, it's a decent kit, the TCA stuff. Thrustmaster Airbus kit, but well, it's not easy to find. It's sold out virtually everywhere. It's not easy to find. Best place to find international charts, places like China, Google. Google always has everything. Literally just search the airport's iCloud code plus charts after it, and you'll be able to find just about everything within a few seconds. Nope, I've not watched Friday Night Dinner. Never had an interest in it. Southeastern High Speed comes out on the... Yeah, you are right. Same day as Southeastern High Speed. Ooh, which one do I stream? Southeastern or Microsoft Flight Sim UK? Probably Southeastern, to be fair. Actually, we'll see. We'll see. I'll do both. One in the morning, one in the evening. Do planes support salt on clouds? Not as far as I'm aware, Raskia. Not as far as I'm aware. The only thing you get out of aircraft is exhaust. And I don't think it's got that much salt in that. Yes, we have got the moon visible today. The moon slowly, well, slightly raising, just sitting there right on the horizon. It's very pretty, isn't it? Very pretty. How can you change the aircraft's livery? By going to the main menu and clicking on deliveries. I use the liveries mega pack, which gives you all of the fancy. So right now I'm flying in LATAM colours off liveries mega pack. Yes, one heck of a view. It's a very pretty flight this today. Very pretty indeed. Could you do a stopover on the UK release? Maybe get between Vanessa and Liverpool? We'll see. We'll see. Depends which airlines operate which routes, because I do like to be quite realistic before I fly, but certainly something we can definitely take a look at, for sure. What is the button on the keyboard to move forward in the cockpit cam? I use the forward arrow. Yes, for add-ons it's just drag and drop. All drops into the community folder of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Next group flights will be next weekend on Sunday. It's the last one of every month, and therefore the 31st of January will be this month's Sunday group flights. Is the bug with too much icing going to get sorted out, do you know? Well, not icing right now, but then again, the weather's not quite up for it. It really comes down to the weather, Stuart. It really comes down to the weather. So, for that, wait and see. But it's not too difficult to combat, just turn on the anti-icing when there is a bit of cloud and freezing weather. Sorry, needs Jet 74 livery online. Made you laugh. Imagine if they did that in real life. Yes. Not quite part of their fleet image, is it? Have you had changed settings recently? You're on the same spec, but since cockpit FPS has hit recently. Well, the A320neo mods does take a hit on the FPS because it's so much more. It's running out systems, but I've not changed my settings recently. No, super. I since running everything. It's not perfect. You can see a little bit of frame rate loss when I move stuff around. Currently running at 27, 28 FPS right now. But I'm not noticing too many problems. The external views, about, well, easily hitting 50 at this point. Easily hitting 50. Yes, liveries and world mods all into community folder. Everything into community folder. If it doesn't go there, it will specify it in the README docs. So, for example, PACX is a separate install that uses SimConnect, but that one it tells you that goes somewhere else. So, unless it states otherwise, community folder. We left the co-pilot screens on right now because it's not giving me too much an FPS hit. Let's have a look. So right now we're getting 27, 28, 29. If I turn off the co-pilot displays. So yeah, it's about the same FPS. Maybe got 1 or 2 right now. Then again, I have this my friend to my sim to 30, so I don't know why. For some reason, the external views seems to get around the limiter. External views seems to get around to it quite easily. But from the cockpit, it is locked to 30 FPS and therefore will never go over 30. But because we're at 28, 29 already, it's got basically 0 impacts and no issues whatsoever. The Flyby A380 will be a freeware, Sebastian. The Flyby A380 will be a freeware at this stage. How do you manage all these buttons pre-flight preparation? Practice, Nick. Always practice. No one's perfect from day one. Just a case of learn the systems, learn the basics, and eventually you won't be too bad at it. If I want to change your keyboard for the bindings, what do you search setting? I think it's just called move cockpit cam forward or something like that. If you just search camera, you'll be able to find it quite easily. Can you give you a 13.5-hour flight route? 13.5 hours. Helsinki to San Francisco. Not San Francisco, that's 11. Helsinki to what's the other one? To Los Angeles. Helsinki to Los Angeles, that's about 13 hours. London to Tokyo, I think it's about 12-13 hours. Madrid to Cuba. Actually, that's maybe like 7, 8, 9 hours. The one I did actually Frankfurt to Buenos Aires, that's about 13 hours, 14 hours. That says hi. Hi, Miguel's dad, how you doing? Is that a very satisfied indicator? Yeah, so that's the passenger satisfaction MM. That's TFDi design PACX. So this is our aircraft's cabin. All green dots are passengers. 2 white dots are our cabin crew today. So it's just the passenger crew experience mod. I'm sure I knew that guy before. Passenger crew experience mod just gives you aircraft for the passengers. I like it. I like it. It's a good little add-on. One hour and 30-minute flights. London to Berlin, London to Warsaw, Vienna to Lappeenranta. There's quite a few good little flights, 1 hour 30. You're trying to use IVAO. The only frequency you showed up was Unicom, even though your control's nearby. Wait a couple of minutes, Sebastian. If you've just spawned in, dedicate a few seconds for it to all load up properly. If you've waited maybe 5-10 minutes and nothing's appeared, then I'd say check your connection. Change server as well, so change from shard 1 to shard 2 or 3 or something. You're in final, Salt Lake City. Have a good landing, Benny. Is the A320neo more difficult in terms of autopilot loading default A320? Yes, it is, chicken. It's not, I wouldn't say it's more difficult, although there are more steps to it, but certainly more realistic in regards to aircraft setup. Also, the A320neo has less of a tendency to nosedive into the ground, which I hear is quite a good benefit. So, yeah, I've got no issue with the A320neo. Its setup is a lot more realistic, a lot more steps in getting it all perfect. No chicken. Happy you can, happy to help. Welcome, Joe from Holland. How you doing? Welcome back. How you doing, man? Welcome to the chats. Do you have a better morning today than Thursday? Yes, much better morning this morning than Thursday. Thursday was quite an interesting day, I must say. Friday was alright. This morning, pretty standard for a weekend. Right, so we're coming up to about a fifth of the way into our trip so far. So far, so good. Slowly that ETA trickles down a bit, so you are doing alright for timing at the moment. Where exactly are we right now? Good question. Right now we are one of several aircrafts. Just to the north of La Serena, to the east of La Higuera. There's currently 4 aircraft going to Cusco right now. 2 hours 3, 2 hours 2, 2 hours 5, 2 hours 9. So there's 4 of us going right now. Potentially a few more on the approach. Let's have a look. Inbound for 2366, 207, 491, so 941 and 435. It's quite a challenging approach again, so hopefully we'll be able to land ourselves with relative ease. But ultimately, we'll have to see how it all goes. Fuel on board on us, we have 9,820 kilos right now, 9820 kilos, 9.8 tons. You're from Peru, welcome, and Kyo, how you doing? Welcome to the chats. You just started taxi, you finished taxi and started engines, aircraft won't move, its parking brakes are released. You just finished taxi, you started the engines, the aircraft won't move, parking brakes are released. I'm not quite sure then. What do you mean that you finished taxi and started engines? What do you mean by that? When are we landing? We're landing in about 2 hours and 25 minutes. 2 hours 25 to landing. Cheers, Remnants. Thank you for the kind words. Welcome, A320 Madman, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chats. How are you today? How are you doing? Once again, just a view of the fantastic scenery to the right hand side. The weather, absolutely fantastic right now. Could not ask for better. Could not ask for better. How to get your flights? IVAO. So, it's using SimConnect, I believe. It's not FSOP, it's SimConnect. And yeah, the client's in the back, so the core in the background, the client running on the top. And then this here is the IVAO clients. It's not a difficult setup. It's not too problematic to get going. There's a few steps. I've done a tutorial on it. Highly recommended. Highly recommended for those who want a bit more educated on the flights. Oh, cheers, man. Glad you're enjoying the watch. Thank you for the subscription. Much appreciated. Welcome. Next time, how are you doing? Welcome to the chats. How are you today? Yeah, I'm going to get rid of this Euro Spain Airlines guy. Not sure what's on his mind, but not particularly appreciated. I finished pushback. Right. Has the pushback tug disconnected? If the pushback tug's on your aircraft, then you're not going anywhere. No Rory, no Jared, no Buller. Remind me Buller. Adam? I don't remember that name. I pay monthly on the 3080. Nope, I've paid it in one go. I'm now 261 in the queue to get it. 261, so we'll see. Time will tell. How much storage do you recommend for a PC? Well, I've got a 2TB hard disk drive, a 2TB hard disk drive. I've got a 500GB SSD, which I'm running Microsoft Flight Sim on, and then I've got like a 30GB SSD for important software that I use from time to time. But like I say, if you get a couple of terabytes, it's always good to keep yourself in storage for a little while. Not doing too bad next time, not doing too bad at all. How are you doing? Is squawk code 2000, depends where you are. 6 just depends where in the world you are. So squawk codes are different per aviation regulation. FAA is different to EASA, and Southward, I can't quite remember what the acronym is, but yeah, it's different depending on where in the world you are. There are haters everywhere, you know. Yes. What's your opinion on P3D? Decent sim, had its time in the limelight, but for me, now want to retire, really. It's always been started as a professional training platform rather than a mainstream home simulator. And so, yeah, it's one I've used. I've got P3D V4. It's not something I'm probably ever going to really use again. So, it's had its time. It's shone, but end of life. End of life. Yes, Cusco approach is in the mountains, very complicated. Fortunately, the weather right now is looking pretty good. So, you see, got a few clouds dotted around here and there. Similar weather we're expecting on landing right now. Shouldn't get too much worse than this. Have gone add on show passenger experience? Yes, I use TFDi design packs for passengers. TFDi design packs. Good little add-on. Very much enjoy using it. Take care, Remnants. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Yes, there are liveries for the Flyby A320neo. Same liveries as the default A320. I use the liveries Megapack for my one. But yes, there are liveries available. Use the same default liveries. So far, so good. As always, just monitoring the traffic that flies around us right now on IVAO. Hopefully, don't lose too many people to the mountains, but ultimately, we'll just have to wait and see. ETA now under 2 hours as the crow flies. I expect it to be quite close at 2 hours 20, to be fair, given that our approach is going to be pretty slow, pretty managed. But hopefully, it shouldn't cause us too many. Shouldn't throw any curveballs at us. It's going to be quite a standard safe flight right now. You've arrived at the gate, sort of runway 100 feet above, half the land. I'll say, I enjoy flying the A320 in Microsoft Flight Sim. It's a more than fine aircraft, especially with the fly-by mod. But I can't wait for a 737 to mix things up a bit. I enjoy doing all these flights. Look at the same cockpit every time. It does get a bit tedious at times. So as soon as things can mix up a bit, fingers crossed, will be pretty good. Cheers in the street. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for enjoying the watch. Any famous people on board? We had a few similar close names. So, for example, we have former racing driver Jim Crawford on board right now. A few people who kind of recognise on board. None of the Reed family. No Jareds. relatively so you've got not Ryan Reynolds, you've got discount Ryan Reynolds, Robin Reynolds. That's a few passengers who just hit the bill. Half the reason to be planning to grow up, love your channel. Cheers, Niall. Thank you for the kind words. And this flight can we do from Lima? We'll see. Okay, Joe, we shall see. Lima to Bogota. First flight until the trigger comes out. Probably would do it in Ryanair colours on a flight from Stansted to. Trying to think of the popular Ryanair routes. Maybe Madrid, maybe Barcelona. Good on our flight. London to Inverness. I quite like London to Inverness. Again, just absolutely fantastic scenery out today. So you're going over the water, just on the coast of Chile, sorry. Absolutely beautiful. I don't have the Barcelona add-on. Is it worth it for Microsoft Flight Sim? Is Barcelona worth picking up? I mean, this is a thing that's going to carry us for at least the next 10 years or so. And with it only being, well, 6 months from release. Now it's time to spend the big guns in your scenery. Stop bolstering up a bit. And who knows, when the next Microsoft Flight Sim comes in 10 years, how will that one look? What mods will be compatible, which will not be compatible? Is PACX worth $30? I'd say Travelographer. I'd say so. Never had a problem with it. Functionality, pretty sweet. Puts you in the pilot seat. The cabin crew do what cabin crew do. That's crazy how this is the default view. This way of it. In fact, it looks like almost two different cockpits. This is natural kind of eye how the pilot was the A320 cockpits. And I kind of zoomed mine in a bit just to make these displays at the bottom a bit more visible, also more visibly outside the window. Two hours 15 to go. We've been flying for about 50 odd minutes right now. Shooting for about 1 hour 18. On the progress, we're 27% of the way there, so just under a third. So far, so good from the cockpits. Slowly as more ATC building up in South America. See if Peru does come online, but Venezuela's online. Brazil, quite a nice little corridor going. That's up to some of the Caribbean. Looks like there's probably an event going on right now in Princess Juliana. Where's that? Princess Juliana to Fort de France. Is that a French Guinea? Is it? No. St. Lucia. That is. Okay. Fort de France. $320, 737, 319, 21, 319. Yeah, very busy right now. Very busy indeed. Ecuador's got an approach online. Guil. It's coming to life. Slowly coming to life down here. Once again, I have pinned the tracking link if people want to check it out. Otherwise, our tracking link for IVAO is as follows. So you want to track our flight, that's the way to do it. I'm going to make sure my approach is set up on the background side of things, just make sure it's all ready for me to go and I'm ready. So looking at a LITOTS to Alpha approach on runway 28, inbound from the south, transition flight level 140, nope, it's going to be 18,000, 180 for Cusco. Using the RNAV approach. We'll need that in about 1 hour and 40 minutes. That's how it sense. Conflict 737, so the 737 from PMDG will be a payware, $139.99. $139.99 for the PMDG 737 when that releases in Q3 of this year, Q3 2021. Yeah, PACX is very good at what it does. So, as Cusco said there, you can download your own safety demonstrations and boarding music. In my case, I used the LATAM boarding music and safety demo for our departure today at Santiago de Cuba. Seriously, my folder is now just full. Full of music. Canada, France, ANA. Comes we've got ambient, epic, and motivation. I've got 3 generic ones comes with by default. American Airlines, Asiana, Austrian, Avianca, Cathay, Delta, Finnair, Korean, LATAM, Lauda, Lufthansa, Qantas, Ryanair, Spirit, Turkish United. And then for safety demonstrations, this is basically every single airline I've ever flown a Microsoft Flight Sim to date, minus a few for 737s. So we've got Aeroflot, Air Canada, Air France, Air New Zealand, Alitalia, ANA, American Airlines, Asiana, Austrian, Avianca, British Airways, Cathay, Delta Airlines, Druk, EasyJet, Edelweiss, LNR, Finnair, Jetstar, Korean Airlines, LATAM, Lauda, Lufthansa, Norwegian, Qantas, Ryanair, Scandinavian, South African, Spirit, TAP, Turkish, United and Wizz Air. Total of 33 different safe demos I've got for this so far. Yes, ATC is everywhere but Cusco right now. Slowly building up. Hopefully we'll get someone later on. It's past a complicated download. I wouldn't say complicated. Setting up FSUI PC, which is a freeware mod you require for it, can take a step or two. But I wouldn't say it's complicated, no. I have done a tutorial on it, and so well worth watching that. In regards to getting that going. Q3. So Q3 is July, August, September of a year. So Q1 is January, February, March. Q2 is April, May, and June. 3 is July, August, September. Q4, October, November, December. So Q3, July, July, August, September, which is when we expect to see the release of the PMDG 737. How to get safety demonstration files? YouTube. So you can download videos on YouTube as a .wav file, and YouTube has just about every single airline safe demo in existence. Some are a bit more difficult than others. I'd say Druk Air was the most difficult one for me to find, but they're all out there. Just takes a bit of searching. Download them in the .wav format, and it's good to go. Do you stream the same flights before going live stream? It depends, Ancaja. It depends. So this is a flight I've not done yet in Microsoft Flight Sim. This will be the first time me doing it, but there are a few flights that I've done either previous streams or just got bored and did it in my own time. Where I'm from? I'm from the UK. So A380, no release date for A380 yet, no release dates yet, I'm afraid. Is there an Etihad livery? Yes, I think there is. Let's have a look, shall we? Liveries, liveries mega pack. Let's have a look, shall we? So for the A320, A, B, C, D, E. Yes, so yeah, I've got Etihad A320. For the 747, I'm not sure if it has one, because I don't think Etihad has 747s. The answer is nope. And for the 787, the answer is yes. There is an Etihad 787 livery. So it's there. It is all there. Yes, I've seen the last High Fly 380 flights. That was on Sam Chewie's channel. You're a bit late there, Captain Safety. Cartors is dialing the fuel pumps about half an hour ago. Yeah, no, he's out. Always happy to help. I will say, the Delivery Make Pack installer, it's alright. It's an alright little tool. I do quite like it. If I had a negative with a sim right now, if I had a negative, it would be the community folder. I mean, it's simple enough to install everything by drag and drop to a single folder, but the downside is, it just gets so messy, so messy. So you've got a bunch of livery, so besides top, you've got the Copilot mods, which is just sticking a Copilot in the seats. You've got, all of a sudden you go down to, you've got Unreal Weather, let me do it by name, it's a bit easier, Copilots, you've got the A320neo mod, A321, then you've got a bunch of liveries, 787XC, couple of airports, enhanced graphics, more airports. It just gets so messy, so messy. Macro sim stuff, you've got more scenery, you've got an add-on airplane, more scenery, weather engine, more airplanes. It needs a nice... The way X-Plane does it is pretty much perfect, I'd say. Okay, find my X-Plane, the games, X-Plane 11. So, in X-Plane, nice and simple. You have the aircraft folder, add-on folder, add an aircraft in there. Custom scenery in here. So much easier than having to go through a single folder for everything. I mean, I like it. It's nice and simple to drag and drop, but it just needs to be a bit neater. Just needs to allow you to split it up a bit. How does Luke tool compare to PACX? Not sure, I'm afraid, Captain Safety. Luke tool's not something I've personally used, but I believe it's a freeware add-on, which does have a few limitations in regards to the cabin side of things, but in regards to audio, like others, you just download sound files and stick it into the menu. One thing actually I like about PACX, which Luke Tool I believe doesn't do, PACX is all automated, while Luke Tool is more manual, so you have to click on all the buttons for the sound files, while PACX knows what stage of flight it's at, and therefore will be able to just put it in directly. But I could be wrong with that, because again, I don't use it, and therefore, based on what I've seen, it's a bunch of buttons that you click on manually. Hey, not too bad, Adam. Not too bad at all. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to chats. Do you think Microsoft will add their own liveries in the game? I'm not sure, to be honest with you, David, because with adding their liveries officially, it comes down to licensing everything, and that gets pretty expensive, depending on how many airlines there are, so I'm not sure. Maybe for console, perhaps, because the Liveries Maker Pack is only available on PC, but it depends. Depends, like, which permissions they can get, which airlines they can pull, and where it kind of will go from there. But yeah, it all comes down to licensing and permissions. Have you heard about mountain? Yes, I have heard of mountain sickness. Do you know I get the 787 individually? Since you bought standard edition, you can't, Sebastian. So the 787 is only available on the Premium Deluxe, and therefore you have to upgrade to Premium Deluxe to fly 787. There's no way to do it individually, I'm afraid. How much does it cost for a decent PC Microsoft Flight Sim? Ultimately depends on the parts, really. Ultimately depends on the parts. As always, build your own is better than pre-built. But I'd say you can probably get maybe 400 or 500 quid for a decent sim PC for Microsoft Flight Sim. It's not too expensive. Of course, the more you spend, the higher graphics, but you don't need anything groundbreaking. Based off of the minimum and recommended requirements, kind of get it up from there. Just ordered the... I found it on Thrustmaster, did you? Well played, Daniel. It's a bit of an interesting one to find stock for. It's not exactly the most available bit of kits, but whenever they come in sale, they do sell out very quickly. So fair play, man. Fair play for finding it. And also to broadcasting it on the chat now, so I'm sure half the people have gone straight to the Thrustmaster websites to pick up what they can. So far so good. Satisfaction 93%. 3% right now, so it has dropped a tiny bit. I can imagine as the flight goes on, that will kind of increase and drop as you go on. Patagonia, that's near here, isn't it? Trying to remember exactly where Patagonia is. It's past the Andes. But yeah, it's more Argentina actually. No, it's more Argentina than Chile. Further south. Should have posted a referral link, yes. Airlines provides headsets to pilots. I believe airlines do provide headsets, Diego, but most pilots will have their own. Most pilots will have their own. But for flight training, generally, pilots will be buying their own. I got to do a holding pattern yesterday. Plane wasn't doing it. Had to do it manually. Sure did it right as well. It's not a difficult to have the holding pattern. You select the waypoint you want, hold it, check your inbound course and direction of turn as well as the time and distance of the course, and then insert that to your flight plan. So it's not a difficult way to set up, although just make sure that your numbers add up correctly. You're looking at Logitech set of equipment for your sim, very nice layout. I mean, for me, Thrustmaster, can't go wrong. Thrustmaster, I do love their products. Hashtag not spawn. Now, even the cheaper Thrustmaster stuff, the HOTAS 1, HOTAS X, the Airbus kits, kind of low, medium price. Yeah, Thrustmaster, generally probably the best you can get out there at the moment for sim hardware. Do you ever use a sim map to sub-flight? Nope, never do travelographer. I use SimBrief for my flight planning. SimBrief for flight planning, waypoints and everything put into there, and then set it up from the menu. Have got plans for Samos one day, Rodrigo. Have got plans to do a few more Greek flights. Especially if they've got like an ATR. An ATR Q400, fly with Olympic Airlines, can do a bit of island hopping, which would be a very fun experience. I've been to Athens, been to Lemnos in real life. Use the Field B4 Island Lemnos, highly recommended. Spent about 5 days there. Yeah, spent 5 days in Lemnos, 4 days... Hang on, no. Yeah, 5 days in Athens, sorry, 5 in Lemnos, 4 days in Athens. Spent 9 days total. I don't count the first day because I landed basically at 8 PM and straight to the hotel. It was a good trip, that. Greece is a fantastic country. Nope, we're not flying Argentina FIFA. We're flying in Chile and Peru. The Warthog looks like military aircraft because it is, Daniel. It's based on the well, the Warthog aircraft, the A-10. So it's designed, or it's licensed from the US military. It's military kind of design style, but it's very good. Proper metal build, feels fantastic. Second to none to any flight controller. Do you know if the Megapack Center of the Megapack 737 is different, Sebastian, to the PMDG 737. So Megapack 737 is a completely different aircraft. No information in regards to release dates yet for it. Just know it's somewhere on the way. Should be sponsored by Thrustmaster. You deserve it. Well, if you're watching Thrustmaster, hit me up. Nah, like I say, if anyone ever got in touch, I'd be probably quite happy to do it. Depends what it is, but I'm not the big, like I said, I'm not the big sponsorship guy. I'm not one to take money from anything really. I've got a job, I make money. This is just a side hobby, something to kill time really. The weather mod's doing rather well at the moment, Harvey. So far, so good from Unreal Weather. No news on A330 at the moment. I think they've had a few issues in regards to importing their model into Microsoft Flight Sim. The model's ready. In terms of functionality, it's there. It's just kind of combining the two to get a released product. So they've had a small issue with the model, but they're slowly getting around that at the moment. You're on IVAO. How do you go to direct waypoints? by clicking on the Directs button and selecting waypoints. Welcome, Philip. How are you doing? Welcome to chat. How are you today? How are you? Why do you keep the barometer on standard versus QNH? Can you explain each one? So, standard altimeter is standard altimeter. So when you pass transition altitude, which is different per country, so America is 18,000 feet, in the UK it's 4,000 or 5,000 in busy airspaces, and wherever in the world it's going to be on the charts. So that is set to 1013 QNH, 2992 inches, QNH 1013. And, well, if I go back to status code QNH, which is based on the ground level, QFE, based on sea level. Actually, that could be the other way around, I could be wrong with that. But basically, in the normal world, everything's done on QNH, 1013 standard. If you're in America, everything's done in inches, so 2992 inch standard. And so, basically, it's just a barometer, allows you to keep your altitude at standard. But since we're above 10,000 feet, since we're in standard altimeter, so above 10,000 feet, use standard altimeter, just allows you to keep all aircraft at a stable altitude without any deviation. Because depending on air pressure, the altimeter could be different, and therefore barometer's different, it could be different altitudes. But with standard, that's always the same. It's a blanket altitude, it's a flight level that gives you 1,000 feet separation regardless of what flight level you're at. So it's just a safety system to allow separation while at transition. QFE QNH depends on the airport, really, Benny. Depends on the airport, depends where you are. But it's inches in America and hectopascals for the rest of the world. Welcome Plane Aviator, how you doing? Welcome Bridge Chase, how you doing? A3 5900 or 748i? 748i. I am a Boeing person, and therefore 747. To be fair, 747 I adore it. It's a fantastic aircraft. I should have flown it in May. Should have gone to America in May in the 747, but because of COVID, that trip had to be cancelled. So maybe in the future with Lufthansa we'll get a chance to fly 74, but we'll have to see how it all goes in the future. What does DME mean on navigation charts? So, DME is a measurement of distance, I believe, and in regards to how far you're from the airport, in regards to different bits of setup, so flaps, gear, all that kind of stuff. Not too bad, Miguel, not doing too bad. So far, so good. We're slowly getting towards halfway through this route at the moment. Still looking at just under 2 hours to arrival now, but otherwise, we're doing alright. Just slowly making my way more north. La Paz, capital of Bolivia, has now come online, but still nothing for Cusco. If anybody knows any Cusco controllers, please get them online. There's 4 of us up here. Still pretty close together. Still all expected around a similar time. Who's who? Who's in chat? Who's flying his aeroplanes? This is the A320neo, Captain Jake. This is the A320neo. We always use it. Always use it within our flights. Yeah, so basically, so you can't keep a speed of 180 till 40 ME. So basically they're telling you to keep 180 knots until 4 miles, and then from 4 miles you can then slow down. So it's let's say just a measure of distance in miles before you can do certain things. You're the Skylines guy there, Wicked, so you're the guy who parked up next to us on the ground at Santiago. What does the co-pilot do? Nothing, it just sits there. So I was on Flights Not 2 looking for scenery for this route. By the way, there's no scenery available, and I just saw it pop up Microsoft Flight Sim co-pilot mod, which I was like, huh, what does that do? And it literally just sticks a co-pilot in the aeroplane. So this is based on a menu, so actually I won't pause, I have to pause the aircraft. I'm going to do that on multiplayer. But whatever co-pilot you set in the main menu, you can actually have them sitting in the aeroplane. It's a free download. I thought it was pretty neat. It just makes it less alone in the cockpit, because in reality planes fly with 2 people in the cockpit, and therefore it doesn't do anything. It just sits there looking around. but it just fills the cockpit basically. I've always in my mind, well, no, even back in the days of FSX, like, I'm flying around, but I'm always thinking, why no co-pilot when it should be a two-person thing? I know not everybody enjoys having like a pilot model where like you look down, you see your arms, you see your legs and all that, but at least in regards to having a co-pilot, I've always sometimes wished that they were there. So, freeway mod, 60 co-pilot in. I thought it was a pretty good download, that. And there we both are in the cockpit of the aircraft. Although the weather's not been too bad at the moment, turbulence has died down a bit, but we are over water now, not over the land, which does play a part. Imagine if she could talk. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. We haven't got a talking pushback tug mod. That was something you can do before, and so for the future perhaps. There is a mod for the yeah, sure, I'll get you the link for the co-pilot mod. There is a mod that does have a co-pilot. It's what's it called? FS2 Crew. I believe they've got a few things for Microsoft Flight Sim, so it's possible. Combine that with FS2 Crew, you got yourself a winner basically. Co-pilots. Let's have a look. So there are two versions of the mods. There is the standard version, which is this one. Basically, it lets you put it into the standard cockpits, and then if you own the premium deluxe version of Microsoft Flight Sim, say for example 787, then it's this mod here. Do check out the README, because you do need to, for the A320, you do need to extract the correct version, depending on your A320X mods. But, well worth a look, well worth a look. You're LATAM 207, are you, David? So we've got the Sky as signal waitresses. David's in the LATAM 207, so you're just, let's see, just over the water somewhere. Not quite visible in range, but you are out there. Then behind us we've got 941. So who's LATAM 941? Let's have a look. Let's have a look at what they've got to say. It's hang on. I'm confusing myself now. It's on the wrong aeroplane. Because I saw my name's like, oh, that's not right. Fletcher. Not them recognised. Perhaps it's okay. Well, whoever it is, welcome. Got 328 hours in IVAO right now. 328 hours. Not sure how many hours did I get in that sim before I changed over. I think now it's about 200-300. Since Microsoft Flight Sim doing a lot more flying, so obviously the hours picked up a bit, but yeah, not bad. Got 2 ratings, flight student and ATC applicant. Okay, not bad, not bad. And in Madrid have you Diego, very nice indeed. When you take off the PACX, the satisfaction drops, you know why that is. Perhaps you're putting too many G's, Tom. If you pull too many G's, then passengers start feeling a bit uncomfortable, so be a little bit light on the controls, don't be quite so harsh. What's the program for Crew A320? You talk about PACX though. TFDi design PACX. Costs $30. Link is in the well, it's not in the description. Put in chat now. So passenger crew experience, compatible with all of the aircraft Microsoft Flight Sim, not just the A320. Should do more flights to South America. Now you're watching, it's beautiful. It is. It really is beautiful. I mean, I will start doing a few more flights, well, everywhere in a while, so I plan to do maybe another South Africa flight at some stage. Tomorrow I think we'll do one flight in Europe, one flight in the US. We'll do 2 streams, both in the A320neo. Maybe do an EasyJet in the morning, and then we'll do like an American Airlines in the evening, but we'll look at routes, look at the plans, and see what's out there. But yeah, it should work quite nice. PACX costs $30, $30 for PACX. As soon as you put the throttle to toga, satisfaction drops. You should never take off on toga, Tom. Use flex temp. Use flex temp for takeoff. And last flight passengers of the bump takeoff. It was pretty funny. Yeah, again, it also depends on the passenger as well. Some passengers don't mind it so much. Others can be pretty fearful of it. Watch for that. If we get to market delivery, probably not, Tom. Only because with the Neos, which is a real aircraft EasyJet have, they only use it in the new colours. If it's none that doesn't have a Neo, then I'll perhaps make it up a bit. But if it's the option to be realistic, then obviously I'll go for more realistic options. So we'll see, Tom. But I'd say probably not. Probably not. Seatbelt sign's automatic. Well, it actually depends on the settings really about seatbelt sign. You can tell it to turn it on automatically. Where is it? So go seatbelt sign assistance, none, partial, full. With partial, it turns them automatically. But if you forget, then well, you forget. Can one connect Microsoft Flight Sim with IVAX? One's in tower control. Yes, it's possible, Maurice. Yes, it's possible. Yeah, if it's a seatbelt sign, Brad, then yeah, some passengers may not be in their seats anymore. That's for sure. So we're just on the halfway there now. Just on the halfway there. 1 hour and 45 minutes to go, which means we'll be starting our descent in about 1 hour. Not so much of the Andes, well, still of the Andes, but no, not as much in regards to the mountains at the moment. But terrain does start picking up again as we reach the destination. Not sure, Maurice, how it goes. Best to check out the IVAO website for that, because I don't do controlling and therefore I don't quite know the process for it. But well, check out the website if you want more info on that. Did London to Innsbruck a couple of weeks ago, flying in EasyJet colours, so probably not, David. Probably not. Do I drink Evian water? This is Lidl Saskia brand. The only reason we have bottled water like this at the moment is because, hang on, I'm just looking at my microphone. Give me a second to adjust that, sorry. That's what I thought. The only reason you've got bottled at the moment because recently we're changing the filters on our, well, tap water filter thing. So it was turned off about a week or two. But now that it works again, we're finishing the rest of the bottles and then we'll go back to just drinking out of a normal bottle of water. I've never really cared for water brands. If I'm ever out and about in a bottle of water, I'll just buy the biggest for the cheapest. You're doing Copenhagen to Heathrow now, so that's a short flight. Very nice, Brad. Enjoy the trip. Have FlyLive dedicated to create their own E80? Yes, they have. McConnell, they have dedicated it. It's an they're on their downloader as an unavailable download, but they have stated they're doing it and progress is going on. Actually, they released a couple of screenshots a few days ago. Progress wise, looking very good indeed. Yes, it is close to the bottom pole, but well, apparently it's saying, at least I now know, I believe it was one, if you ain't clacking, you're slacking. So we're going on a high-ish cruising speed, just for the sake of saving a bit of time. The earlier we land, basically the better satisfaction we get. So the happier the passengers, the happier I am. How old am I? I'm 21 years old. Runway change from what you expected the autopilot, the approach would be. No, positive. Yes, autopilot can be a bit funky when you change a runway sometimes, Brad. Your best bet will either to be flying on vectors or reset your flight plan, basically. Go to the initialization, reset your flight plan. I have noticed that, well, if you watch my Pyro stream, the reason my approach was so terrible the first time around before going to go around was because the runway changed and therefore we came in from the other side. As a result, the flight plan was just a complete mess. I tried Director 2, did not help it, and yeah, it just went all mucked up from there. So basically, yes, if you ain't clacking, you're slacking, from 7.4 gear, correct. Yes, Dasani water still exists in America. Dasani water is the main water. It's not so much, well, I mean, all water is tap water. Evian, this one, Saskia, Volvic, Highland Spring, it's all tap water. Bottled from source is a tap somewhere in Scotland, basically. And so, what you're paying for is the actual plastic itself. You pay £1.20 for a bottle of water, you're paying £1.20 for the plastic bottle itself. And Dasani, the reason it's so unpopular, I was not sure because it was because it was tap water. In the UK, it fell because it was the biggest one that came out as being just tap water on its own from a bottling facility I think it was in Slough. But the issue with Dasani water in America, at least, is it's a bottle of water with a high concentration of sodium, aka salt. Now, you drink bottled water to rehydrate yourself, but your water's got salt in it. Therefore, you're actually making yourself more dehydrated by drinking Dasani. I think there was a good video on that I watched a couple of months ago. Not Tom Scott. Tom Scott did the UK Dasani. There was a video, I think it was on like Facebook, where I watched about how Dasani water is not quite what it seems. Also, the fact it's a monopoly, and you get it in all the vending machines, being Coca-Cola. So, if I ever go to America, Dasani is probably a water brand I'll be avoiding personally. Welcome, Charlie Nash. How you doing? Welcome to the chats. How do you know transition altitude? It's on charts. Your charts will state your transition altitude under TA. Flight streams are super stable and consistent and entertaining. Cheers, First Officer Phil. Thank you for the kind words. Land you on the watch. Volvic is bottled at source as a mineral water. Let's have a look, shall we? So it's tapped. So it's tapped. Taps from the springs. The Puy de Dôme in France. So it's tapped. Is the GTX 1660 good? I like it. I like it. It's a modern graphics card. I bought it when it was like 3 or 4 months old. But yeah, it's a modern graphics card. It's not too pricey, and it does a rather good job at what it does. No complaints. how to add the Neo face version of PACX? So change your video. So now you now have to add a new config file for the A320neo and then change the numbers from that. If you go to FlightControlReplay, there is now a freeware A320neo that you can download from there and stick into your sim. Do you know where it stands on the IVAO homepage? We connect to Microsoft Flight with IVAC. Not sure what I mean by that, Maurice. Because you can't natively connect to SimBrief. Hang on. Oh, I'm not sure, Maurice. Again, check the website. You have to check the website for that, because I'm not sure how the ATC side of things works for IVAO. Google it. Does SimBrief show what flaps need to be? No and no. Niall, flaps you do yourself. Basically, depends on what stage of approach you're at. Flaps you need to do yourself manually. Is it capable of good graphics? I mean, I'm using it right now, Miguel, and I'll let you decide that. Well, to be fair, I could probably increase my shadows a bit. The shadows are a bit bland at the moment. Shadow. Turn them on up. See if I can make things look a bit nicer. Slightly better. So we're now halfway there. 1 hour 37 minutes to go. About 1 hour to landing now. Well, 1 hour to descent. Hour 30 to landing. Again, we're expecting runway 28. Land on today, runway 28 via the Litots to Alpha approach. The approach itself pretty fun because we, like Paro, descend between two mountains in the valley, and then our aircraft goes down through the middle of it, snakes around before eventually coming to land. So it's a bit of a process. We need to be very careful with our altitude setup and the final turn. So non-nav approach, the final turn we do need to do manually, hands on the stick. So hopefully we'll be able to do that one quite nicely. Although not as difficult as Paro, not nearly as difficult. The scenery though, I'd say is better. It's a very pretty airport. Cusco. And show Aurora if you're ready to part the game tomorrow. Enjoy that, McConnell. If you enjoy it, hopefully, I'd be impressed. Again, the scenery here is absolutely fantastic. It's the beautiful part of the world, this Chile. Morning, O'Rourke, how you doing? Welcome back, how you doing, man? Has anyone heard from Warhawk, I must say? Warhawk777. He's been he used to be a long run on this channel, then just disappeared one day. Hopefully he's doing alright. Tried dropping him a message. Nothing. So over halfway there now. This next bit of flight is virtually all water. I think we stick ourselves on the map. So fly over the water for a bit. At Ari, cut back and land again. Fly over a few altitude mountains, and then start our approach towards the airport at Litot. So far, so good. You're doing okay. A memorial service outside Sydney, first week of February, and then heading down to Tessie May. So we've got a few trips planned there. A lot more trips than I have planned at the moment. That's saying something. Last year, in January, I had 11 trips planned. I successfully did 4 of them. 4 out of 11. 7 were cancelled. And then one trip which wasn't planned last year, which I did between the lockdowns, which was just a nice little bonus, to Berlin. Is there an active ATC right now in Cusco? If there is, I'm going to be very happy. The answer is... No, there's not. There's no T in Cusco right now. No ATC. You'd love to see us A320 Classic found some, yes. An A320 Classic would be pretty good. We've got the A321, that's a classic aircraft CEO on there. We've got the A320neo and the A321 CEO is a freeware from the Mega Pack. Yes, these Microsoft Latin allows us to virtually travel. Doesn't make life so much better. Does VNAV work in the A320X? It does, Callum. It does. It's not so much visual on the FMS, for example, the altitude and speeds don't quite appear, but if you were to do the buttons automatically, it does do it without any problem. So, yes, VNAV does basically work in this, just not via the FMS. A320 flight factor or the TOLIS, any day, any week. The TOLIS 319 and TOLIS 321 are fantastic aircraft in regards to system fidelity, and also very good on the frame rates. Frame rate's pretty good, and VOG compatibility, which the flight factor's still not quite there yet. Price-wise, a bit cheaper as well. Hope you spend 2 weeks in Orlando, 2 weeks in Los Angeles, in your term, so fingers crossed. Yeah, 500 credit, notes with American Airlines, you can use that. Very nice. How do you get 500 credit with American Airlines? Do you think they'll get S27? Maybe one day. I know FSX and PWD have got a few heritage aircraft developers. Milviz are doing 737-200, don't forget, so there is an opportunity, certainly, for the future. No worries, Max. How are you doing? Welcome to the channel, welcome to the chats. You're from the UK, haven't watched EastEnders in years. You're familiar with Phil and Grant Mitchell. I mean, I've not really watched EastEnders ever, but yes, Phil Mitchell, Grant Mitchell, Peggy Mitchell, rest in peace. And Ian Beale, who they almost killed. He's been there since episode 1, like the 1980s, 1990s. So they almost killed the guy off, but he just about survived on the Christmas special, which I never watched, but it was all over the news. Ian Beale about to die. Original character about to disappear, like, come on guys. But no, Ian Beale's still there and kicking. Yes, it's to snow in South England tomorrow. It's even snow here in London, should be pretty exciting. Yeah, £500 booked last May, flying to New York, Orlando, and Cleveland all cancelled. Right, okay, so yeah, it makes sense you get credit for your flight. Yeah, it's meant to snow in London tomorrow, which is very exciting because it's not snowed here properly in years. Don't know if it'll settle. I hope it settles, but I don't know if it will settle. Just a case of seeing how the morning goes, really. Yeah, a friend who has credit with cruise credit with Royal Caribbean. Sailing, main COVID stuff started, borders closed. They were refunded the entire trip cruise credits. Was it last night, was it? Sharon nearly killed him by poisoning, but he found out and legged it. Now he's left and will return in the spring. Is Sharon the one he got married to a couple of weeks ago? His, like, 4th or 5th marriage, stuff like that. I don't know. I don't watch EastEnders. It's just something that, if it's on TV, I'll maybe have 5 minutes. Otherwise, I don't really care for it. Favourite plane? Either the 737 or 757. Sorry, 737 or 747. Beautiful aircraft. Beautiful aircraft. 75's decent. Can't fault 75. You remember the first episode in 85. You were only 15. Now you're 50. Yeah, 85. So episodes 15, 25. Almost 35 years. One show. Sheesh. Sharon always knew that Ian locks her son in the boats when it crashed and killed him and wanted payback. Because aren't they meant to be brother and sister as well or something like that? I don't know. It was a very weird story that just got really big in the news. They almost tried to kill him. Nope, I don't watch 8 House 10 Cats Countdown. I watch QI sometimes. feel around the side again, just the terrain, even on the coast, is so beautiful. Apart from the scratch on the window there, not sure if someone did that, but hey, very beautiful. This the level of detail throughout is absolutely immense. How about Snowby? FlightGear DVD's coming tomorrow, and I know you can download it for free. They do FlightGear DVDs? Let me check that, because I don't think... Oh, they do. I did not know they did DVDs. $49.99. So why the DVDs and not the free download? Because it's a free simulator. It's a decent one actually. If you don't have a flight sim but want to download something for free, FlightGear, highly recommended. It's the entire world, but with a free flight sim. But I don't quite get why you went for the DVD version. I mean, you be you. I'm quite interested. Sorry, Diego asked the question. I missed that one. Do pilots? So pilots eat the same meals as the passengers. They just have different meals in case something goes wrong. So if one makes the pilot sick, the other one can continue flying. They can eat foods same as passengers. Just they have to choose something different from the menu. Yes, I was born in 1999. I'm 21 years old. It's actually Dad's office computer. It's can't download anything. Right, okay, that makes sense. Always release parachute landmarks. I'll have a look, Court. But we'll be having a look in caution. Having well, not forgotten Orbex London, which soon won't matter anymore because with the new UK update, it's going to be all photogrammetry in London. So all of a sudden, that mod really has no reason to exist anymore. City Airport's decent, but the London landmarks is not a good add-on. I can't lie, not a good add-on. Should do an ASMR stream for scrolling down your mouse. Is this real? It's just a mouse. It's a Dell mouse. It's about 15 years old now. It's a scrolly mouse. It's a Dell OEM mouse. I've had that since 2008, I'd say. So 13 years. 13 years. How's your day? Finished tuition at 8 PM. So far so good, Karthik. This morning what did I do this morning? I don't remember. I woke up, I did something, then I went to Asda and bought breakfast cereal. Then I went home. Then I did an hour of daily exercise with my mother, walk around the Lido. Then I went home, had dinner, and I started streaming. So yeah, average day, average weekend for me. Didn't go to university, Diego. Did not go to uni. Used to work for Dell. Very nice, yeah, boy. Very nice. Could you do a flight from Seattle to Paris? It's a long one, that, Xander. It's a very long route, that, but maybe one for the future. We shall see. I'm mainly waiting for the A330 for my next long-haul flights. I mean, the 787 747 are good, but But again, I'm flying the A320 every single week, so I know I need another passenger jet aircraft just to mix things up a bit. I don't mind the A320. I love the 787, love 747, but I just need something new to mix things up a bit, if you know what I mean. It's enjoyable, but very tedious these days. Same 3 aircraft every time. Your longest flight was Amsterdam to Los Angeles, level D 767FS 2004. Gosh, level D 767. Now that's a aircraft. Did level D ever do stuff for P3D? Are they still active, or have level D kind of gone back into obscurity? Because they used to be a fantastic developer. Really stood out. Where are we flying to today? Flying to Cusco in Peru. Cusco in Peru. It's a very fun little airport. The scenery there, fantastic. It's in the mid of a valley. But interesting approach to get there. PNDG won't bring an MD-11 for 2 reasons. One, because TFDi Design are doing one, so same developer as PACX are doing a MD-11 for Microsoft Flight Sim. And 2, the history of it is a bit shaky, because the PNDG MD-11 was designed by one Lefteris Kalamaras, which, well, I'm sure you guys know of him as the head of FS Labs, and it had a few... It had a difficult history, to say the least. I won't go into full details about it, because it is now long gone in the past, but it's now when they were very quick to drop, and they, well, retired it pretty soon after that, so I doubt we'll see the MD-11 from TMDG anytime soon. Yes, the UK date has been delayed by a week, just to get the photogrammetry correct. They're doing a new technology, new way to do things, which hopefully is looking pretty good. We'll find out on the first week of February. But I'm excited for it. I am excited for the UK updates. Also, very excited for the EFBs for the A320 on ACOM. I'll have them a few videos on their channel showcasing it in action. Hopefully it'll be rather good. Hope someone drops a Boeing 307. A Strata Cruiser would be pretty good. A Roke would be pretty cool. I believe there's a Boeing... Oh, actually, I won't go into detail because I'm not sure if they've announced it yet. But there is an oldie Boeing coming from one of the developers. Yes, Sir Martin is looking very busy right now. There's an event going on right now in South America. How many people go? There's 29 inbounds, 22 outbounds. It's very busy. You can see just a circle of aircraft as they're on the holding pattern around the island. Very busy. Very, very busy today. 29 inbounds, 22 outbound. See the Brazil corridor's shut down. And then there's our 4 aircraft slowly making their way up north. Remember having the PNGG MD-11 back in the day, bit naughty. And yeah, yes. Could you do Mumbai, Singapore? Maybe one day, Karthik, maybe one day. Have you tried VATSIM? I used to, Matthias, but long story, I don't do it anymore. Which country would you like to next update after the UK? I'd like Poland, I'd like Finland. Poland or Finland, I'd say. But, well, I doubt it. Probably maybe get Canada. Maybe we'll get Australia, perhaps. Some of the more, I guess, what's the right way of putting it? I guess the more bigger populated, more flight simulations. So maybe Germany as well. Germany's probably a good shout for the next one. We had Tokyo. Tokyo's pretty good. Enjoyed Tokyo. America, one or two sceneries that had a few little things there. Plus, the US update was the one that introduced all the random massive spikes in the world. But apart from that, it was alright. Otherwise, yeah. Hopefully UK updates won't be too bad. Is that simulated? Yes, the entire world is simulated VCrab using satellite imagery and AI. How to get window views? Window views are pretty simple. The easy way to do it is to use the showcase camera. So the last two, 13 and 12, give you the wing views. the more complicated way, I use the, well, you have to edit the config, and that's I've done a tutorial on. Are you from Poland? No, but my mother is. I'm half Polish. I am half Polish. My mama is from Polsko. Yes, FlyLive making a comeback. FlyLive V2, Electric Boogaloo. Train spikes in this update. I'm not sure if it'll be in this update, but they are working on it. If you go to their forum post, they have announced that they are looking at the spikes. If you fly to Papa Hotel, Microsoft Hotel, you get a bunch of spikes here around the airport. Okay, I won't fly there then. A China update would be pretty cool. China's got quite a lot of scenery that would be rather fun to look at. Documentary about the Tenerife air disasters, 277 collision. I'd say, I guess if who's responsible for the accident? Well, officially it's the captain of the KLM flights who wanted to, well, he ignored ATC instruction and ended up taking off his own accord. I mean, there's obviously sayings that the ATC were watching a football game at the time, but that has never been verified. But officially, it's the pilot error in the KLM side of things. So I'll stick with the official stuff rather than going to conspiracy theories. Into that. Yeah, I do. Sorry, I just noticed something a little bit interesting in this rail driver. Okay. Yeah, Tenerife's more than fine airports. Tenerife South, Tenerife North, both of them can handle commercial jet lines no problem. Live in Seattle, very nice ender. Very nice. I'd like to visit Seattle one day. I'd like to do the Boeing facilities tour. Yes, I will definitely find the A320 when it releases. Absolutely, Tom. Absolutely. Hey, flying, that's the best bit of Miguel. The flights have always been the best bit of a holiday. Could you do Madeira Airport at some point? Yes, I'd like to do Madeira at some point. It is a one-of-a-kind approach. The landing aids are very slim, high winds off the coast, and you're landing on top of a cliff. In fact, you're landing off the cliff because past the runway to the north, it's stilts that go off the water. Is the A380 past the Megapack? Yes. The A380 Megapack? No, I don't think it will use flyby systems. I believe it will use the default A320 systems, but for that, we have to wait and see, basically. But yeah, the Megapack A330 will use the default 320 cockpits on the release, and then they have noted on their list of things to do for this year, by the end of the year, they will have a custom model for the A330 cockpits. So they have started designing it, they have started modelling it, but because the SDK is still a bit early days Microsoft flights at the moment, there are a few small things that need to kind of get working around first. So initially it'll release the A320 cockpits, and then soon it'll come with the updated A330 cockpits after release. If you go to Seattle, you'd highly recommend Vancouver as well. Love us to see. If I ever go to America properly, I mean, New York you can do in a couple of days, of course, but I'd like to do like an entire month. Start in Hawaii, spend a week in the city, go place to place. I'd like to do that one day with America. Problem is, what job can get a month off? A330, no reset yet. Soon. A330 is soon. Right, so we've got a right hand tank up shortly. That sends us back inland for a bit. At Ob, we'll make a left hand stand via the Tots, and then from the Tots, we'll start our approach into our airports, and that's where we need to get around the mountains. So, like I say, it's a very skilled approach today. Airport at 13,000 feet, so not descending too far. It's first going to Brazil, Australia, Poland, Florida, Tenerife, Vancouver, New York, New Zealand, Mexico, and Papua New Guinea. So quite a few trips you got there, Miguel. There's quite a few trips you got there. Yes, I will be getting the PMG 737, 100%. Tuesday's Australia Day, aka Invasion Day. Any chance of an Aussie flight to commemorate? We'll see, we'll see. I don't normally stream on Tuesdays, so that does go away from my schedule. Generally I'll stream on Wednesdays, Saturdays and Sundays, and I'll stream on Thursday or Friday, and if I'm feeling lucky, maybe I'll do a stream on both days, but generally it's Wednesdays, Thursdays and Fridays, and then Wednesdays, Saturdays and Sundays, and then Thursday or Friday. It'll be Monday your time, even worse. On the left hand side, pristine clear water. On the right hand side, still flying the coast of Chile. Did Concorde stop flying because of the Paris crash? Concorde stopped flying because Airbus stopped supporting it. Airbus pulled their support for the Concordes, and with parts and spares becoming so expensive and so rare, ultimately it was just uneconomical to fly it. If Airbus did not pull their support, there's a good chance it could have flown a bit longer than the Paris crash. At least that's what market tellers believe. The downside of Concorde is that it was never a profitable aircraft, and therefore tickets were super expensive and flights were very rarely fully booked. So my grandfather was an engineer on Concorde. Never liked it. For him, the landing gear were too thin. He was sure that would collapse one day on landing, but that never happened, fortunately. But yeah, he was an engineer, designs the landing gear systems for the aircrafts. Do you have outside wing views? Let's have a look at the showcase, shall we? So you have tail view. You got outside wing views, there you go. There's a way you can actually change these cameras via button combination, but I don't know what that button combination is. Let's just go tail cam a bit, why not? Be nice to fly in this in one day. Yes, there is a Concorde coming. It's the DC Designs Concorde. It's near release. The problem is Microsoft Flight Sim has a speed limit, so it's physically impossible in the sim to go over Mach 1.0, which for an aircraft that cruises at Mach 2.03 is kind of a requirement. So they're working on it. They're not going to release it until Asobo removes the speed limits. What do you start YouTube? I started YouTube in 2016, I believe. You download the F2X side of the HUD so you see what's happening. Oh right, so you need to align the IRS, David. Align the AID, or turn the AIDs to auto nav, and then using the FMS, you need to input your destination and arrival airports, IRS initialization, align IRS. Can't fly without aligning the IRS. Pilot was he? Very nice, Miguel. Very nice. Are you working towards a professional career? In regards to what, Nicholas? Which professional career?
In a few moments, our lovely flight attendants will be
CP calling. I just use a fan, standard fan, nothing fancy.
Drinks are available for a small charge. Please note we only accept credit cards.
Did you know you can download Microsoft Flight Sim for free? That car thief is called a pirate link, and it's illegal, so well, if you download it, for one, I'll be removing you from this channel because I don't support piracy, and two, by downloading it, it sticks a middle finger to Microsoft and Asobo by not supporting their work. So no, I would not recommend downloading Microsoft Flight Sim for free. This is more than likely going to be a torrents link, which is illegal to download as a payware software. Abandonware is a grey area, but active software, downloading it for free, that's illegal. Yes, 55,000 feet was around the cruising altitude of Concorde, 60,000 feet. Your dad was a pilot in 1976, went to Concorde flying. Very nice. Which airline, Miguel? Which airline did he fly for? So going back over land again shortly. 1 hour, 8 minutes to go to the arrival. Landing in approximately, well, 1 hour, 8 minutes. Descent in about 30 minutes. Probably not a career in flying, Nicholas. Too expensive. Way too expensive. I'll do a private license one in the future, perhaps, but commercially, I've got doubts I'll do it. No, probably not. Welcome, Oni, how are you doing? Hello, Captain. Hello, Tony, how are you doing? Welcome to the chat, how are you today? And also, Drawyah. Welcome to chat, how are you doing? Welcome, both of you. How much time do Concorde reduce flights? London to New York. So, London to New York usually takes about 7-8 hours. Concorde did it in 3. To LAX, it takes about 9 hours, 9 to 11 hours. Concorde did it about 5 or 6, so it cuts in about half. Twice the speed, half the time. British Airways. Is he still flying now, Miguel, or is he, has he since retired? Now it would have been 1960s, so pilots retire at 55, is it, I think? 50. There's a national age requirement limits for pilots retiring. It's slightly younger than most careers. Best copy for this game, build your own, Xander. Always build your own. Always build your own. Right, our destination is now on the ND there. Sierra Papa Zulu Oscar. In a couple of minutes we'll start programming our approach into the FMS. And then it's all fun and games for the descent into the valley. Tokyo to Charlie, and it's called views. Can do in some spot. We certainly can do. Died 12 years ago. I'm sorry to hear that, Miguel. Sorry to hear that. Was he always a British Airways pilot, or did he move on to different airlines throughout his career? Welcome, Carl. What's I doing? Did you prefer AMD or Intel processors? I'm not sure, Diego. I mean, my next processor will likely be an AMD, because these days they're pretty good at what they are. Intel are alright. The problem with it, though, is that their last couple of processors are basically the same thing with a different sticker on it. So, Intel, they used to be rather good at innovation, but they have stagnated a bit. So, probably we'll be looking at the AMD routes next. I've seen photos of the Concorde Museum of Flight. I've not been there. I was going to go in May, but because of COVID, that never happened. So, no. I've seen photos on the aircraft carrier, but I've not been there in real life. Yes, I have done about 4 or 5 flights to Manila Port. It's a very pretty bit of scenery in a sim. Is there a way to tell the cabin to serve snacks? It's all automatic, Tom. So the thing with PACX is it puts you in the position as a pilot. As a pilot, it's not your job to be telling the cabin crew to serve food. That's their job. So it's minimalistic in regards to what options you can do, what you can play around with. But cabin services are all automatic. Not your job, not your problem. A computer specs all this in the description. I'm running an i7 6700 processor with 32 gigs of RAM and a GTX 1660 graphics card. Never used FS economy at cows, so I'm afraid I'd be the wrong person to ask that question to. So I've never used it. Does get Premium Deluxe upgrade on Friday. Very nice. Do enjoy it, officer. I do like it. I mean, you get 787 of course, but you also get sceneries like Dubai, Heathrow. You get a few airports there as well, which I do quite like. So, for me, Premium Deluxe was a definite buy. I must admit, never bought Microsoft Flight Sim. This was offered to me by Microsoft directly. So having done the pre-release showcase and stuff, Microsoft drops the link saying, hey Drawyah, would you like to showcase, well actually it was flightsim.com was like, hey Drawyah, would you like to show stuff early? And I was like, sure, I'd be very interested. And then the representative from Microsoft like, okay Drawyah, here's a code. You've got about 1 month. No streaming yet until the weekend before, and then do what you want. So again, a massive thank you to flightsim.com, and a massive thank you to Microsoft for the, well, for everything really. The opportunity, the growth, everything. Changing the regulatory frequency, says Sebastian. So set it up in the standby, in this case Unicom 12.8, then press the green arrow to switch. User scrolls to sets, green arrow to switch. Yes, 32 gigs of RAM is very highly recommended for Microsoft Flight Sim. 16 is the minimum, well, 8 gigs is the minimum, but 16 in reality is the minimum for this platform, especially for places like New York, where it's very heavily built up and modelled. He moved on because he was ill, did an easy job, set up some business running now. Okay, so he has left something, Miguel. Well, it's not just one aircraft, Maroke. I mean, you get stuff like the SR-22 as well. I think you get, I can't remember before, so you get a 787, an SR-22, with so not premium deluxe but premium, you get steam gauge versions of the classic aircraft, also Cessna 172, 152, stuff like that as well. It's more just 787, and plus you get a few airport sceneries as well. I don't use VATSIM often, I'm using IVAO for ATC, so I won't appear on VATSIM, no. Oh yes, London, I'm certain will see the RAM increase with the London Flight Geometry. That's a given. Right, should we plan our approach, shall we? So we're expecting to use runway 28 today. I have 28, and we'll be using the Litot 2 Alpha. Start. Litot 2 Alpha. Via Litots, do we have? Yes, we do. Happy with that. Insert. Which is the plan. So it's a bit of a snaky approach here, and if I use the map I'll show you more detail. Ooh, that's interesting. Oh boy, I hope that's not going to cause us a problem. Okay, well, hopefully it's not going to cause us a problem. Looks like it may do. Boy, give me a minute to look into this. It's that URC point that causes problems right now. URC, which I can't remove. And it's in 2 Litot. I don't know why it does that. Okay, if we move on to Litots. Right, okay. Okay, I can work with that. So basically what I do is I'll do a direct to Litots. Ogmass is over there. So if I can try and skip that Uniform Romeo Charlie point by doing direct 2, I can live with that. So when we get to... Tell you what, I think we should do direct 2 now. Perfect, okay, we can do that. So we're going to direct 2 to Litots, and then that takes us down the path. Like I said, it's a bit snaky because we're going down the valley. We follow the rivers for a bit, and then slowly arrive at the airports. The events could build very nice, Miguel. I'd like to. Well, it's pretty. It does look pretty. Maybe one day for the future. Yes, It's always with these FMSs, causes you grief. Always grief. I wonder how Man City did. I don't know, they were losing 1-0 to Chelsea last time I checked. They got back 3-1. Shame. Shame. Well, Chelsea held on for 81 minutes. And then, yeah, lost concentration, scored a second. By 90 scored a third. That's a shame. The Chelsea goal was very sneaky, though. Very sneaky. Autoland time for pilot to do... only poor visibility, Diego. Only poor visibility. 99 times out of 100, pilots will use manual landing. Only 1 in 100 will they use auto land. Right, let's program our arrival information, shall we? So let's pull the meantime information. In fact, no, we'll do it from the FMS because why not? So we'll put updated information. If you can tell me that the weather is, well, the weather's information pulled. Give it a few moments. There we go. The message arrived. Let's do this. So receive messages. New. Right, what matters to us? So it's currently 140 at 7 knot winds. Plus 10 visibility, scatter clouds at 5,000, scatter at 8,000, 90 degrees centigrade 2.4, QNH 1025. Right, so back to performance. QNH 1025. Temperature is 90 degrees centigrade. 1407. Oops, what am I doing there? Transition is 18,000. Decision height to meet NDA shall be 950. Right, that's all plugged in. All that's left for me to do now is to make our way to the airport. Plan twice to lit up now, though I think it's going to change things ever so slightly. As long as we follow the flight plan, that's all I care about. I don't care what the FMS says. It's going to be a, well, God knows what it says at the moment. But as far as I'm aware, that is now correct, and therefore our approach should be alright. So I love this aircraft, but it can be temperamental sometimes. What is NDA approach pace? So that is your decision heights. If you hit a certain altitude and have no visibility to the runway, then you must go around regardless of what's going on, unless you're in autoland setup and have ATC permission. So your MDA and DA is your minimum decision heights and decision height. So MDA is minimum decision altitude, DH decision heights. And then once again, charts provide you for that information. Getting a little bit bumpier now since we're going to be flying over the land once again. It's quite mountainous terrain we'll be navigating over, so again, got to be quite careful for that. There's Tyler, always happy to help. We've got 55 minutes to landing now, 55 minutes to go. We'll be starting our descents relatively soon. Since we're only descending 22,000 feet rather than 30,000 feet as we normally do, it'll be quite a late descent, but very cautious of the mountains as always. So from about, I'd say 8, hang on, 38, so if we're descending, we'll say 20, so 2, 4, 6, so we'll say about 80, 90 miles from the airport we started to descend, 80 to 90 miles. Favourite London airports probably would be Stansted. London Stansted would be my favourite. It's not the biggest airport, very easy to get around. Shops and duty free is not too bad. And where the majority of my holidays start from. Minimum runway length for the A320, not sure, Paul. Can't remember off the top of my head. Which country is that line from? So LATAM is all over South America. but we're flying specifically LATAM Chile, so Charlie Charlie tail code, and our call sign is TAM Chile. So specifically this branch of LATAM is Chilean, but they've got a couple of branches throughout their company. There are some labels in the on charts, and they are A, B, C, D. Depends on the approach, Diego. Depends on the approach. And that'll be provided to you via the ATIS information. Getting a bit bumpy now, getting a bit turbulent. Probably will consider turning on the seatbelt sign in a couple of minutes. FPS has also slightly slowed down a bit. By slowing down, I mean something about 25, 26, so it's only a minor slowdown really. I have a 1660 Slick Burrito, a GTX 1660. Take care, Miguel. Have a good one. I'm sure our landing will be as safe as I can get it. This ND always concerned. Actually, no, that's alright, because against that UGC point, that always, well, there's always that one waypoint that throws things off. Fortunately, this time was a relatively small issue. NCD's not working. I'm not sure what issue is there, Adam. I'm not sure what your issue will be there. Can you barrel roll? Probably not, Xander, because the A320 has flyby, which prevents bank angle and therefore stops you from barrel rolling. RAM does give you better FPS, yes, because it does better in terms of caching the scenery data. So especially when flying in large cities, the bigger your RAM, the easier it is to render, and therefore the more frames you get. Yes, I have seen the A320 printer feature. It comes out in the next beta. The next dev version will have it. So I should mod Kaitak and land there. Well did I. You should check out our last stream where we flew the 747 from Taipei to Kaitak. That was a very good flight. Thoroughly enjoyed the landing, and on the IVAO network, a couple of good landings followed as well. So there is a mod, some freeware, some payware, and it looks absolutely fantastic. While it's getting underpopulated, you go to Sydney, you expect to see 15 people flying there, you see 2 or 3 people, that's everywhere. What do you mean by that, Atlas? What do you mean by underpopulated? Is it worth getting an NVMe SSD? Yes, SSDs do massively improve. It's more loading time, I'd say, with SSDs over a hard drive. Loads a lot quicker, and just getting to sim in general much more of a stress-free process. I use SimBrief, Carve Roblox, SimBrief to plug in all the FMS configs into the aircraft. So you use SimBrief to plug in the flight plan, gives you a Lido format, Orange flight plan, and then you can use that to plug in the information to your aircrafts. I've done a tutorial on it. It's not too difficult to get used to. It just requires you to find the departure and arrival ICAO, and that's about it really. The rest of it's done automatically. Right, well, we'll be landing or descending in a couple of minutes, so I'm just going to quick opposite the loop. I'll be back in 30 seconds. I'll be back in 30 seconds. Right. How are we doing? So, like I said, we'll be setting in a couple of minutes. Shouldn't be too long now until we find stuff on the ground. Had a phone call there. I've missed it. I'll Is he in London, is he? Have to check later. Was that longer than 30, was it? Hang on. Right, so yeah, descending in about, what I'd say, 80 miles until the airport start at the top of the descent. Airport at 13,000. We'll be landing, descending. 20 minutes of descent. Again, looking like quite a full airport today since IVAO's showing, well, 4 of us. So they're making away. Hopefully once again using the Unicom, we can just kind of space ourselves out a bit, make life a bit easier for all of us. Again, QNH 1025, that's the magic number for us today, 1025. Mark our top percent soon when we hit that. 30,000 feet of the airport, target will be... That's the arrivals, didn't care about that, situation, that's fine. Right, perfect, so Unicom set up now. Make life a bit easier. Welcome train fan, how you doing? Welcome back, how are you doing? Should visit Cusco, it's beautiful. Like I said, I like to visit everywhere in the world. Give me a plane ticket to any town, any city, any country. I'd absolutely love to go anywhere. I want to thank you again for your help. Strong Amazon bought 1660, 30 GB RAM. Knows me go well. Always happy to give you a hand. Sure you'd love the traditional dish, Lomo Saltado. What's that? Let's see what you're trying to feed me. It is loin. It's fried meat, fried loin with onions, tomatoes, and French fries. That sounds alright. And also have rice. Maybe one day I'll give it a go. Brad there, £10. Pog. Cheers, man. Much appreciated, Brad. You are a star. Thank you very much for the support. Pog. Pog, pog, pog. Is ETA in UTC? Yes. So the ETA is in Zulu, Universal Coordinated Time, and so that's based on, well, the same GMT at the moment. It's the benefit of living where it's always GMT. Time never changes for you, really. Very heartfelt message. Took you a while to write. How much does this upgrade from 16 gigs to 32 gigs? Depends on which sticks you go for, ultimately. Using a stick, Marco, not a yoke. I'm using a side stick. How much fuel? We have 6.8 tons of fuel left, Zander. 6,800 kilos. Yeah, gotta love the fancy channel emojis. Right, so the airport's now very much on our radar scope. I think we'll turn the terrain radar on now for the sake of remembering to do it later. Weather-wise, I don't see too much wrong. Got some low cloud. Runway should be visible to us for the most part, so definitely enjoy that. The terrain radar is very much the big one for me. I mean, for those who watch the Pyro stream, I can fly easily based on the two displays. Of course, I'd quite like to have visual, but it's not impossible for me to fly. So, see how that all goes. Fortunately as well, unlike Pyro, Cusco has got a bit more of a leeway around the runway, aka it's not at the end of a mountain, so if we need to go around, we can just go around. Is autopilot these days any better? I'd say so. I'd say so, Simva. Autopilot's doing us absolutely fine at the moment. The ND's still a bit off at the moment, but that's only because we're flying direct to different waypoints. No issues with it. No issues at all. We have trust in you this time. Yes, last time you guys had no trust in me at all. Put the radar on for a second. Had pink on approach. Let's have a look, shall we? No. Bit of orange to our left, where all the high cloud coverage is, but ultimately not too bad where we are. Not too bad at all. I'm sure our co-pilot as well will agree that weather-wise looking alright today. Microphone, I'm using a Fluoron BM800. Fluoron BM800. Cheap, off of Amazon. Bought it about 4 or 5 years ago. You're on default live weather. Right, okay. Yeah, I'm now on Ultimates. Sorry. Yeah, Ultimate weather. Unreal, sorry. Unreal weather. It's a freeware mod. I do quite like it. Pause weather every 3 minutes or so. Depends on which airport's closest to us. I like it. The co-pilot cockpit's a mod hyper. It's a free mod on Flights Not 2. I spotted it when looking for scenery. I was like, oh, that looks quite interesting. And yeah, it does nothing more than just stick the co-pilot's model in the cockpits. Nothing fancy. It's just sits the co-pilot in the plane. If you want it, I can drop you a link from Flights Not 2. There's 2 versions. You have, whoops, this version for the standard edition of Flight Sim, and you have this version for the premium deluxe version of Microsoft Flight Sim, and it does it on a per aircraft basis. Charts, I use ChartFox, not Navigraph, ChartFox. Stripes doesn't so much matter, Diego, because at the end of the day, if I've also got 4 stripes on my pilot model, which I think I do, let's have a quick look. Peek through the window. Yes, so both pilots have 4 stripes, and therefore both are captain, but well, one's designated captain, one's designated first officer. So, for example, British Airways, if you fly to Gibraltar or Innsbruck, both pilots have 4 stripes, not 4 stripe, 3 stripe. Both pilots have 4 stripes because British Airways only use captains for their Innsbruck and Gibraltar flights due to the difficulty of the approach. So, it doesn't so much matter how many stripes they've got, it's just who's designated what, who's left seat, who's right seat. Yeah, Carol's not doing too much. She just sits there and enjoys the trip while I do all the work. Now, can you put the chart link in the chat? First of all, there's no need to use caps, officer. And this is the website for the charts. Give me 2 seconds. Let me try and sort out this thing quickly. We'll be descending in about 5 minutes. 5 minutes to descent. How long's today's flight? 3 hours and 5 minutes today. 3 hours and 5 minutes. I've not tried a custom co-pilot model, no. I really should do it at some stage. Hang on, I need to do it the other way around, don't I? Because I don't have it anymore. Give me 2 seconds. There we go. So copy you, paste you there, copy you, paste you there. Save you. Maybe later. Authorize. Right, so let's pop open ChartFox and let's put in our approach airports. Sierra Papa Zulu Delta. Not supported, okay. It's not quite as good as Navigraph ChartFox, but it is free, and so what worth taking a look at. You should switch to rum like X-Plane. Sorry, like XP, yeah, XP, well, he's got a different drink every single stream. For me, it's just bottled water. No, I'm not really a heavy drinker. I'm not really a heavy drinker. During Christmas and New Year's, I was, well on the whiskey, but hey. Oh, sorry, did I put the wrong... Is it... Oh, sorry, it's Oscar, you are right. SPZO. There we go, sorry. Sierra Papa Zulu Oscar. Still not supported. How about our departure? Sierra Charlie Echo Lima. Okay, so yeah, Chile in chart site not looking too. Yeah, I think we'll avoid that for now. I know it's pretty good. So if I look at Heathrow, for example. Look at Sizat Heathrow. Charts itself are pretty good. Standard NATS charts for this. So it's freeware charts, sources the stuff free from online. I see. Not every country supported yet. Not every airport is there. Yes, I have got a VATSIM account. The issue is the VATSIM account's been suspended, so I can't fly on VATSIM. I can log into stuff, I just can't fly with it. They won't talk to me. They won't let me know. Well, they'd let me know why I'm suspended because of nonsense reasons, but they won't let me appeal it. I can't fly on it. So, I can log in with VATSIM, but I can't fly with VATSIM. What reasons? I can't remember the number, something like VATSIM reserves the right to suspend any user without reason or notice, basically. I've always wanted to appeal it. I've always wanted to speak to VATSIM, but they've basically put me on a block list and just won't talk to me, so one day maybe. But for now, IVAO seems pretty good. Never had a problem, so yeah, IVAO it is. Right, we should really start our descent now, should we? So we're going to head down to 14,000. Speed-wise, I'll let the aircraft manage that as well. We'll slowly make our approach into
To assist with customs at our destination, flight
Cusco.
attendants will begin handing out forms momentarily.
take care, Zander.
Please review.
Have a good one. Bye-bye. When you switch to standard, we're switching at 18,000 feet. 18,000, which low counts into 1025. So I might do a bit higher in regards to the high altitude airports. What's going on? It's this annoying thing. So directs to Vargos. Hang on, Microsoft Flight Sim just be Microsoft Flight Sim. Zulu Oscar 645. Zulu Oscar 645. For some reason it just decides, nope, we're not going to fly on the flight plan anymore, we're just going to fly in a random direction. Gee, what is the descent rate? What is going on? That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. So satisfaction's now dropped massively. because the aircraft decided, you know what, we're just going to nosedive instead. Ridiculous. Okay, well we've recovered the nosedive at least. We'll go down manually at 2,000 feet per minute. That, I presume, was an issue with the FS 2020. I can't imagine the fly-by-wire aircraft willingly nosediving into the ground. That, I believe, is a Microsoft Flight Sim issue. So going back on course again. Hopefully we'll, hope you haven't lost too much time with whatever that was. Very annoying. And look at our so 37 satisfaction. I'm sure when we land, we're going to be looking at the flight reports issue regarding extreme flying because we're nosediving to the ground for all of a sudden. That, I'm afraid, has now annoyed me. Probably for us to stream that. Oh yeah, the window views are fantastic. It's just a shame the aircraft's trying to kill us every step of the way. Right, we'll get back ourselves on course now. We'll just follow the rest of the star in. So we're still number 1 for approach. We'll we're still pretty high, but again the airport is pretty high anyway, so it's not going to cause us too many things with that. Sending another 12,000 feet until we level the airports. What is takeoff inhibit? Basically means your takeoff config's not set up properly. Check your takeoff config. Flaps, brakes, spoilers armed. Check the ECAM for the takeoff checklist. Hopefully we can get some satisfaction up, but I have my doubts now, so it's not getting more meal services. At least the scenery's pretty. Yes, looking very forward for the UK updates. Looking very forward for it indeed. Yes, if Unicom's the only available frequency, Sebastian, it likely means that you're in airports only with Unicom at the moment. So check the IVAO WebEye for other airports with scenery, with towers, sorry. Take care, Roke. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Info top screen, that's FlyLive Studio at top. FlyLive Studio. Aircraft's making a right-hand turn. I'm now scared as to what that means. Tell you what, we're just gonna... Oh, we can't even use Vector anymore, can we not? Nope, that is busted. Okay. Something gone wrong with it? Has something bugged that? I don't quite understand what's going on. The answer is, well, yes. Hang on. Because our waypoints are overlapping. Romeo 69 next. Nope, did not like that, did you? Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is not fun. Zulu Oscar 640.
Ladies and gentlemen, the seatbelt sign is now turned on, so it is time to return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts.
So I'm not enjoying this approach right now. Hopefully this aircraft's not going to cause us too many problems.
We have begun our final descent into your destination. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to collect any trash one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in a full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you.
Reducing the rates to 1,000 feet per minute.
Stow any larger electronics.
Terrain radar's active. And for now, it's just a case of following the approach path in. So we're going to hold our descent now, level off at 20,000, and slowly step our descent as we come in. It's getting there, Microsoft Flight Sim, but there are some failures that really causes you moments of concern. Yes, I have seen the printing thing, Zav. You're a bit late to the party. Would you recommend DDR4 32GB RAM? Yes, I would. Absolutely. Yep, I've heard the new dev sounds. They are fantastic from what I've heard so far. What we're waiting for right now is Microsoft Flight Sim Updates 9. Update 9 is where I promised to fix all the jetliner systems. And in that, also the well, autopilots, so I have to wait and see. Oh boy, here we go, you're making a turn again, are you? If you go runway 69, I'll happily agree with that. The problem is, I feel like you're not going to fly me where I want me the plane to go. Yes, airport's going to community folder. Latest party, because everyone's already talked about it, Zav. She about 2 hours ago. You missed it all. Next plane 10, your freeway 737 doesn't work. Complains about. Is it the Zybo you're talking about, Charlie? The Zybo 737 or a different mod? Because Zybo 73 is not compatible with X-Plane 10. Yes, Brad. Scenery into community folder. We'll turn the landing lights on now, since we're not going to go below 10,000 feet. We are still at quite high altitude. I have flown work type CJ4. That aircraft is very good at what it does. The autopilot has got proper working VNav, and systems-wise, all pretty good. Right, how far are you going to bank to the right? Hopefully not too much. Hopefully you'll be levelling off now. Gee, nope, you're not liking this at all, are you? Okay, plan B, we're hand flying the rest of the way. It's possible. Not what I want to be doing, but it is possible. Is a replay mod for Microsoft Flight Sim? Nope. The replay mod is a third-party add-on coming out in well, it comes out soon. FlightControlReplay. It's a third-party mod. Comes out soon. So this point we're hand flying the rest of this approach. We'll use this autothrottle to manage our speed and all that. Altitude and turns. That'll be me. What does the processor do? It processes everything. It's your main brain of the computer. Not too bad, Crofty. I'm doing better than the aircraft, that's for sure. I've seen photos of the Santiago expansion. They've got 2 new wings to the terminal, either side of the main bit, the north. It does look rather good, that. It does look rather good. I'm still online, my IVAO. I haven't had any issue connecting. So we'll continue our descent now. The airport's not too far from us. 15 miles. Cruise speed to 200 knots. We're a bit high at this stage. Yeah, we are high. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to brake from the approach a bit. That's one. We'll do a holding loop to the right. And then we'll continuing the approach again. So there's the one negative not having an autopilot right now. It's completely thrown things off. I am annoyed. I am annoyed. Was a perfectly good flight. Ends with very low passenger satisfaction. An autopilot bug that almost sent things into the side of a mountain. Right, so we'll clear that bit, and then we'll start slowish descent again. Reduce speeds to 180 knots. A little bit of cloud below, but nothing too problematic for us. Yes, LATAM merged to create LATAM. This used to be LAN Chile, now LATAM Chile. Right, altitude wise, this is much better now, much better than what we were dealing with before. Yes, I had heard that FlyB is coming back. They've also registered their first aircraft recently. on their former Q400s. Reduce speed to 170 knots. Announce that we're on approach. Visibility has dropped a bit now. But like I say, nothing we've not managed before. Nothing we can't manage again. At the very least, get some satisfaction back. We will announce that we are about 10 minutes ahead of schedule. So ahead of schedule by 10 minutes. That gives us some satisfaction back. Not all of it. Still not about the nosedive. But it is what it is. Gear down. Reduce speed to 138. That's 4. So we're now going to, hang on, brake set medium, spoilers armed. Cabin crew, seats for landing please, seats for landing. So coming through this valley now, then make a left-hand turn. That sends us right into the approach to the airport. The scenery is fantastic as always. Five miles to go now. Still following the valley down. Let's make a left-hand turn shortly. Slight crosswind, 7 knots from the right. Runway is in sight. Clouds are pretty normal. A little bit off-centered. Come on, get it down. Reverse thrust sets. Knots, 80 knots, 60 reverses cut. Well, a positive 100 feet per minute landing rate, so I guess that's pretty smooth. So how often do you get positive 100 on landing rates? Seriously. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how to describe that approach and landing. I mean, it started off in disaster when the aircraft started nosediving us. And, well, like I say, I'm a bit a bit lost for words at the moment.
Celsius. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off. Remember to use
Interesting how
caution
the
when opening overhead bins
replay
as
looks as
items
well.
get shifted during the flight. If this is your final destination, we thank you for flying with us. If you're making a connection, we encourage you to check
Flaps
your
up.
itinerary to ensure a smooth continuation of your journey.
Landing lights off, taxi lights set, APU, start. Let's see what PACX says. What's your PACX says? What's your PACX says? But yeah, there's a low cloud right in front of the runway there, which definitely made things a little bit more fun. Like I say, it's a beautiful airport. The scenery's fantastic. I think one day when Microsoft sorts out their autopilot issues, I'll do this flight again. I'll try and stick myself a bit more of a proper landing, because like I say, the scenery is absolutely beautiful here. As the aircraft come into approach, we'll have a look at them on final as well. The aircraft looks like they've gone off course at the moment. The replay mod, it's FlightControlReplay. It's in beta right now, so it's in testing, and therefore not everyone's got it yet. When it releases, I'll talk more about it in detail, but like I said, at the moment it's in early access, currently in testing. Don't expect a release for a little while. Yeah, unreal weather definitely gave us a bit of a fun little approach there. Right, let's look for the ground marshal and let's get ourselves into gate, shall we? Expected release, no release date yet. It'll cost €18, but no release date yet, I'm afraid. Did the ground marshal decide not to show up today? They're probably there, just inside the building. Which gets downloaded from, like I said, it's not released yet. This is an early access that the developer has given me a copy of, and so the release date for it's not yet available. See Chris there, keeping up to his promises. Charles, sorry. Yeah, so the airport itself doesn't quite look accurate. Scenery though, scenery around it, I'm sure we'll have a look around. We'll stick over to the drone cam, we'll have a look around scenery, look inside the valley. So I'm not quite sure why there's two stands there merging in one. I'm sure that's caused a little bit of confusion there already. Yeah, some of the default scenery could do a bit of love. Right, parking brake sets. APU bleed set. Engines 1 and 2 off. Logbook claims 2 hours 48. Good to see. Turn off the beacon lights. Turn off the strobes. Strobes automatic. That comes off. Taxi lights off. Seatbelt comes off. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cusco. Local time right now is approximately 1:30 with weather temperature outside at 90 degrees centigrade. We thank you for flying with LATAM. We wish you a safe and good journey, and we wish to see you with us again in the very near future. Cabin crew to sun doors and cross check. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cusco. Local time right now is approximately 1:30. So something somehow we'll kill the AP there. Thank you, Charles, for the £5, much appreciated. For the good landing, kind of. Let's also stop the replay, and we'll load it up in just a couple of moments. I was quite interested. Let's hang on, not that. Drone cam up. How far are the other aircraft from approach? So one aircraft in short final now. He'll be landing momentarily. So with the weather, there's a good chance he won't be super visible until the last moments. And this course has already landed, we missed it. Answer is... Nope, not missed landing yet. Oh, they've gone around. So that was Sierra Kilo Uniform 435. Canaan approach, but they've broke off to the right. They've gone around. The other aircraft, let's have a look. There's quite a few go-arounds, I must admit. That one's tried to twice actually land 941. We're all having a bit of difficulty landing at this airport. And the other aircraft has gone and disappeared entirely. Not many winners today. Not many winners. But again, the scenery here. I mean, it's an airport surrounded at three sides by cliffs. It's a very, very pretty airport, this. Which is why I'd like to do it justice one day. When the airport autopilot's a bit more stable, we'll definitely do a trip here again. Imagine living in one of these houses, just waking up every morning. Your front door, garage, gives you easy access to the airport. Yeah, what can you say? What can you say? Right, let's end the flight. Let's end the PACX flight. We'll do the replay, and then we'll have the rest. So end flights. LATAM 2366, A320neo, 2 hours 51 minute block time. Departure was 19:30, arrived by 9:30. Ground arrival 22:25, route flight 22:22. 144 passengers, a neutral flight because of the extreme flying conditions. Lot time 3 hours 9 minutes. Extreme flying conditions, slightly ahead of schedule. You've never heard a plane flying like that before. Tell your friends about the airline. Glad you had Wi-Fi. So again, mixed bag, only because for some reason the aircraft decided that the approach was to descend at 6,000 feet per minute inside of a cliff. One day, Sobo. One day. Right, let's disconnect from IVAO. Let's load up FlightControlReplay. And let's look at the landing from passenger perspective. Pause it. There we go. We silence the GBWS. Let's do it. So we'll do right hand side first, then we'll do left hand side, and then we'll do a few external views. So again, from the passenger point of view, I can imagine this was a pretty standard landing, that. So far so good. That's a little bit shaky in regards to the manual hand flying slight crosswind into the clouds. But hey, low fly by the city. Charles F for £1, much appreciated. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You are right, it was an interesting landing, with a positive 100 and something feet per minute landing, by far our smoothest so far to date. Positive 100 feet per minute. Absolutely crazy, that's. There you go, that's left hand's turn. He's been sped up a little bit. Not too sure though. This is a new beta version we got. This is a new beta version of the FlightControlReplay, but I'm not quite liking it as much, I must admit. Yeah, not the nicest replay, I'd say. I'll speak to the developer tonight. I'll let him know that this new version is not quite as good. Pretty much matches landing though, to be fair. Matches the flights. So from left hand side, again, nice nice enough approach. Is it possible to choose where you want your ground crew to arrive at? No, Zakari, it's all automatic. All automated. Crew just appear wherever they want to appear. Nope, I don't fly planes in real life. Welcome I'm afraid I can't understand Korean typography there. But hello there, to it. How you doing? Welcome to the chats. Oh no, it's not so much too fast, Lucas. The replay is too fast. It's an issue with the replay. This I'm going to speak to the developer and say that this new mod is not. The last version of FlightControlReplay, the beta 1, was better than beta 2, basically. Because yeah, this is a new version, a new test version. It just seems too fast, not so nice. And slowing things down just brings it to a stutter, basically. Yeah, it was what it was. Okay, well, I'm done for today. I'm bringing the stream to an end. So, yeah. So, apologies for that. That was not my best of streams. The aircraft, I think, kind of annoyed me there towards the end. The whole autopilot thing just gets me sometimes. So, be kind there. Thanks for $5. Here's some cash towards the Eurofighter. I'd like to have it yet. Let us know, please. I'll have a look. I'll have a look at the Eurofighter of Just Flight. I'm not... For me, military aircraft sims is more DCS than Microsoft Flight Sim, but if you want to see some military aircraft, I guess you could do something at some points. Yeah, what can I say? It was a flight. Not my best flight, I will admit. It's... yeah, something about this replay version I do not quite like. If I've got the old installer, I think I might actually reinstall the last version. Well, you take care, guys. Have a good one. I'm gonna go to bed. It is what it is. It is what it is. Bye-bye.